Welcome to SPARTA and the Archangel Michael's chat. Yes, it's pretty dark. I'll get another light on and they'll put a bit more light on the subject. Much not effect, a little bit. Well, let's get some light on the subject. And I hope you're well. Hello. The Archangel Michael is live. Yes, I wear my sunglasses at night. But it's getting foggy. Hello, Nick. How are you going? I'll get these glasses off. It's starting to fog up. That is good. That is good. Well, I'm just going to do the Lord's Prayer. And I'll see where I go in my mind from there. I don't know. We'll see how we go, Nick. We'll see how we go. But I hope you're being well. Things have been changing again and again, as they do on these YouTube streets. And, that's the way it goes. No, so I hope we don't have any of these guys or trolls. I'm kind of getting used to dealing with these trolls. Bit of a pain in the bum. They don't need to be like they are, but it's kind of fun to bash a few trolls every now and again. I shouldn't be like that, but it is. But it is. Well, people are still going to ask, Nick. Still going to ask whether this is the guy. Well, there's no one else coming, so. And none of us are going to be around if someone else does come along. So you can't win there. No, it's here and now. And if people can't read the signs and see the signs, well, they're blind. It's like with Jack. All throughout that history, all throughout our history, all we have is the good people always struggling the bigger fight. Every story is the same. I mean, when does people learn? The underdog always wins. Always. Well, not always. But eventually we do. Eventually we do. Now, I don't have anyone else's content on here, so I don't have to use the disclaimer to disclaim their gear. But I'll protect my channel. And this is still quite compliant. If you look at Wikipedia, I know you have to put the dates and this date and that date. Nah, it's a bit formattic for me. Okay, my copyright rights. This channel contents, including but not limited to text, images, and videos, are the property of Archangel Michael and SPARTA and are protected under the Copyright Act. Reproduction or distribution or any part of this copyrighted content without my permission is prohibited. There you go. Lost my track there in the last little bit. You get that. No one's perfect in this world. No one's perfect. We all must be flawed in some way. We all like to think that we're perfect, but at the end of the day, I like to think I'm a perfect driver, but I know I'm probably not. I've been done for speeding fines, so I can't be that perfect. Little things like that. Funny that. I was talking to my nephew Joshua about those speeding fines. Most speeding fines I've had was practically racing to the hospital to either pick up Kelly from her cancer treatments or bringing her home from them. It's terrible that, but you get that. When you're in a rush for things, well, let's get God into the day, the Lord's Prayer, and then we'll get going. Right, we'll get the Lord's Prayer going. Put up a bit of the Etherealness. Woohoo. I like this microphone. Here we go. Oh, Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but to deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace. Amen. And there you go. Turn 2 keys of the 7 keys we must turn straight away. So, SPARTA will be going, and I'll be doing it on this channel. I was thinking I was going to start another channel, but it might take a bit long to get up the subs, and I've already got it on this channel. So, the mask will be coming off. I know I was going to fight YouTube and keep it on. I'll still have it on. You'll still get this act, but you'll get the real act soon. When I go professional and start reporting on the news around the world, I still have to report. I know it's old news now because it's done and dusted. I report on that little bit of banter with the Cardi B. I report on what Trump's doing. I report on that stuff in Indonesia, which is going crazy at the moment, still going strong. Very strong. And then I'm going to report what we've been having at home here with this, this movement, this sovereign nation movement, and those Nazis coming in, trying to steal it and use it for their own advantage. But to have them bashing Aboriginal people and women, kicking them, and no charges being laid, no one being touched by the police, pretty strange. Very strange, especially when they put that vote to Parliament, our Parliament, Nick. In Australia here, they said, should we ban the Nazi salute? And they all voted no. Wonder why. You know how you get rid of the Nazis? You just ban them. Abolish them. It is in our constitution to do this. In the Australian constitution, okay, let's explain this yes-no vote that we had with the Aboriginal people to be put into the constitution. To me, that was the golden ticket. Because there is no one in that constitution other than the government body that it favors. Simply by, they have a law in there that states the government in the power of the day, if it determines a race or a type of people or a section of people within Australia is deemed uncontrollable, they can do whatever they want to them. Incarcerate them, separate them, everything but kill them. But then they can do that too, eventually. This is the fact. So when people say, oh, whites are the majority, no, because they got you segregated too, guys. You all come from different white nations. That's Italian, that's the Greek, that's the Macedonian, that's the Serbian. That's how they'll segregate you, that one. and the government maintains the power. See, if they put us in that constitution, the Aboriginal people would have been the only one exempt from that law. Okay? But they deliberately fashioned it so it would be a no vote, even the guy that was running it. Because I found it very strange, all the attacks against his campaign for the Yes campaign. He never once defended himself. Never once defended himself. And that's a fact. And what they did, they went out to the Aboriginal communities, and I was quite shocked, because me, I'm educated. I got a brain. I could have seen where that went. I know about politics. I know about our constitution and where we stand. And now we stand nowhere. We could have stand right there with the government. But they went around to all these people and said to them, oh, they're going to have a board up there in Canberra, and they're going to tell you what to do. They're going to come and say what you need. And they had them all believing that this advisory board was going to speak up for them. Well, naturally, they turned against their own fucking golden ticket without even knowing it. They still think like this now. It's crazy. Once the lawyers and the money and that gets in, that's it. Then you've got ones that got the claims up there. They don't want no one coming in and tell them what to do with their claim. No. Once they threaten, they come and say, oh, they could tell you that you have to pay everyone and you can't just get that big chunk of money for yourself. That's a straight out no vote there. Right? That's how they played the game. I found it quite amusing how much low education there actually really is on the matter. But to me, if I had my chance and I was going for the yes campaign, we would have got a yes. Because I would have said it right. And no Liberal government could talk against it. And that would be a fact. But that's it. We've lost that opportunity. Now, this was done. Oh, jeez. How corrupt this world is. How corrupt this government is. How ingenious and how planning they have been for many, many hundreds of years. Oh, when you have a rule of sail, if you sail to a country and you colonize that and you stay there for more than 300 years, at the 300-year mark, you can claim yourself as endemic to that land because you had enough time to change it to your way. That's the rule of sail. So that means any original Aboriginal inhabitants, which is what the word is for, right? These First Nations people, I don't get with that. That's another separation technique. Try and separate us from the reality and what the words actually mean. See, Aboriginal is derived from two words from Latin, abo-original, meaning the original inhabitants. And when you have indigenous, well, indigenous is anyone born in any country where you're born. So a Chinese couple come over here, and she happened to be pregnant, and they gave birth on these shores. Well, technically, that Chinese boy or Chinese girl is indigenous to Australia. So that's why I don't like the word indigenous. Because indigenous means where anyone is, where you actually born. Right? So they put that into my people, and now they got that one confused. Some are Aboriginal organizations, some are indigenous organizations. No, division again. And it's the lack of education that keeps them there. All they got to do is flash a bit of money, and they'll just follow any old narrative this mob. They'll sell their culture out quick as blink. It's a shame, but it's happening. A lot of all the old ones, all the old knowledge is gone. The old ones, the real full-bloods, they didn't want this native title. They wanted a treaty. And for 30 years before all these claims started kicking right off, they waited till all those old people died, and all the greedy ones, all the young ones that never learnt really the full knowledge, never was right there, or on the alcohol stepped in and took all the money. And evil men that have magic and evil women that harbored magic. They use it for the evil purposes. And, Nick, I have to follow two laws in this country. We've got one law. That's a fact. Up there, the copper station, the boys in blue. We know this. But there's also Aboriginal law. And they will play that to the end. You have got some old men out there, magic way. If you don't follow that law, well, they'll punish you. Even though it's illegal to the law that we have. Strange that. It's not supposed to be that way. But it is. And then there's some areas like Blackstone. You can drive out there, but it's a dirt track. But usually you fly out there. And you need full permission to go to Blackstone. I don't. Actually. I'm allowed to go there. So is my father. But you've got to go in there. No permission. Permission from the government to go in there. And they still follow their law. Simple as that. They follow their law so much that the police that are there, they told, most police are told this. If you come across a situation with ghosts, you're not to enter that building unless you know someone is inside in distress. And you get them out and you don't deal with what's going on. And all I do is specters. And when we start talking about Aboriginal magic, they have to step back from that too. Well, that couple was doing something up there. And my father went out, found out what it was, went over and told the couple, said, look, you don't want to wake up dead tomorrow, you better stop doing what you're doing. Oh, that couple packed his gear, loaded up his trailer, and was gone. I never seen him again. No, because these things, they might be classed as a pseudoscience. They might not give them much weight. They might say, oh, they're legendary and, mythical. So you think it's some sort of a fucking imaginary deal. But it's not. It's quite real. Very real. You got to understand, Aboriginal people, the oldest culture in the world, we know a lot of things. Especially about this country. Oh, that's why I keep saying there's parts of this country they shouldn't be anywhere near. Shouldn't be anywhere near. But they do. They know about lots of things. They know lots of legends. When the first started finding out that we had these magical items, these stones, out of the story of life which we made into a song, 80% of them sit now in the Vatican. No shit. 80% of our most powerful artifacts were pilfered away and either sit in the private collections or in the Vatican. That is a fact. The Vatican goes like the Smithsonian Institute, who collect all your bloody cryptids around the world, and then they disappear. What happened to those giant skeletons? Don't know. Same with the Catholic Church. They go out and get all the things that are against biblical. So like if someone said, oh, there's a Sphinx running around, they'll go and send some Vatican Knights to check that one out. And if there is a Sphinx running around, they'll capture it. Hide it away and study it. Keep it away. And why do they do this? Because God, He created all kinds of creatures, All those mythical creatures that we talk about and we hear about, hey, we're supposed to be able to see them. They're part of God's creation too, But that's mythical. That's magical. That gives you an understanding that there is a God, because why would there be a dragon flying around if there wasn't? Why would there be unicorns if there wasn't? Right? Stuff like that. They can keep that away from you, the magic, an idea. You just become secular. God doesn't really want that. God wants to be the top of the train because He's the top. He's the top God, simple as that. But you've got goddesses of the rivers. You've got goddesses of life. And you've got other gods as well. All these other gods exist. Whether they're bad or good is another story. But you've got one God that rules them all. It's not like he's the only one. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. It's never worked like that. What are you doing, Joshua? Are you going out? Okay. He's got a packet of burger rings. He's trying to sneak past really quietly. Are you going up to your mates?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's all right. So, that's the way it is. Strange. But I'm going to go to news mode. We're going to talk about good stuff, news. In Australia, well, I can go talk about Australia for ages. I made like I put out this short about the word Australia. Where does the word Australia come from? How did they devise the name Australia? Because there's no Captain Australia or Mr. Australia or, nothing like that. No, that's an Illuminati thought up one, that one. Like I said, I can break that down to you, how they come up with it. Even the silly way that they've got it. It's crazy how they think these things. Like AU, that's the symbol of gold. ST is the symbol of the star. RA is, well, that's Ra, the sun god. Simple as that. And Leah, well, that's ancient Latin for land or island. And the way they've got the name put together. Hey, mate, you going to check out the blood moon tonight? Yeah, I had seen the full moon last night. I'll do that. But yeah, where they put that Australian name together is the golden land. And see, land's at the last bit, under the star of Ra. It's amazing how they put that together. But that's what it means. That's the whole idea of Australia. That's Illuminati, straight out. Freemasonry. Freemasons had a lot to do over here. A lot. Like they destroyed the Gympie Pyramid over in the eastern states. Look that one up on the internet, Nick. You've got black and white photos of a pyramid, an Egyptian pyramid in the eastern states. They used all the stonemasons to break it all apart. And some of those stones in some of the workings around, I think it might be actually Sydney. It might even be the closest city to Gympie. But I know they got somewhere in a walkway where you go down the steps, and it's got some of the stones in there. They reconstitute them. That's a true thing. And you've got those hieroglyphs also over there that have been confirmed. We've got the Bradshaws up north. Look that one up, the Bradshaws. They're the black, long drawings on the rocks. And they're not our drawings. And if you have a look at them, they're so reminiscent of the Nubian and Ethiopian and Egyptian style from that time period. Thousands of years ago. Very same stick-type figures they got. Almost the same instruments. And that story I know is two Egyptian queens. Whether they were traveling here or not, it's another story. Kind of reckon they might have been. But I think they got shipwrecked they had come with 3 ships. And they got shipwrecked up the coast of the Kimberleys. So if they search around there long enough, they might find some of those Egyptian wrecks. And they traveled right across the top of Australia. That's where those Bradshaws follow. But those Bradshaws also follow the path of the original band of boab trees. You know, the big fat trees? And the same story that we have for those boab trees, an old man in the middle of Africa has. That tree boasted it was so beautiful. So God just grabbed it and turned it upside down. Poof. And that's why you've got the little roots type bloody branches hanging at the top. And underneath it's like the full top of a tree. That's why it soaks up all the water. Strange, that is the same story. Same story. And boab seeds, when you keep them, they last for a long time. So possibly they brought them as a food source. Possibly. Because that's another thing that they devised them. The boab tree. See? They don't know how that one, there's no boab trees up in the Indonesia. And if we come around that way, why isn't there no boab trees along there? Boab trees in Africa, and boab trees in Australia. Nowhere else, really. And those two continents were never connected. And we don't come from Africa, so you work out what's going on there. Yeah, there's a lot we're not told. A lot we're not told. A lot we'll never be told. It's like land masses, continents. When they're above the water, that's the only time they can form quartz and create the quartz. It's got to be a dry environment. Can't be a wet one. Got to be a dry environment. And that's the only time you know that when a land mass is under the water, that's being above the water. When it's got quartz running through it. Now, out in the Indian Ocean, well, we've got massive amounts of quartz running through all that ground. So, if anything, there used to be a continent that was in the Indian Ocean, and they call it Lemuria. Now, I know you have heard of Atlantis, and the Atlanteans had a sea enemy that was just as powerful and strong as them. They called them the Lemurians. There you go. And both nations sunk below the sea. Because of the war between them. That's a fact. They won't tell you that one either. Well, run out this Atlantis stuff all the time. Atlantis, the great city of Atlantis, yes. Yeah, well, think about that. Think about that. When they tell you how old the actual Sphinx is, when I actually tell you it's the real age of that, you start to get a bit of an idea how much bullshit you've been told. Because that Sphinx is there long, long before those pyramids. Long, long before those pyramids. If you have a look at the aging on the Sphinx, there's almost 20,000 years more age on that than the pyramids. That's right. And it was never always a Sphinx. Right? It was Anubis. So it was a big jackal. And then that king come along and chopped that part off and put his face on it. And become the Sphinx. That's a fact. But they won't tell you that one. Now you look at the pyramids, they say, oh, look, they got all this bloody shit under the pyramids now, all these gaps, and doing all this test, and I don't know whether quite to believe that. But it is possible. Anything's possible in this world. But I think if that was true, there would be a bit more of a jump around for that. So I think it's just one of those YouTube bullshit things. You got to watch for that. Some of this stuff sounds very real. Might have all the information. But, you find out it was all a hoax for clicks and licks at the end of the day. We live in a world where we can now, we got the AI, we got magicianry, we got trickery, and we got deceive. Put all those together, well, you can do anything. Make anyone believe anything. Make it look real. That's why I'm going to take it with a pinch of salt if these aliens start coming. I don't know about that human race. But watch these governments. They're very corrupt. They'll say, no, we have your best interests. You can't go believing blokes like this. He's a conspiracy theorist. Am I? No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. They gave me a letter that says that I'm not. That's why I think you'll find they've kind of left me a little bit alone. I kind of think they haven't put like that. They're not stupid enough to say, we're going to send it to the military, we're going to send it. I know what they're doing. But to confirm what I asked them to begin with, without sending around a white truck and saying you're crazy, or sending the police around, or the men in black around and saying, be quiet. No, they thought the other way. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, these Aboriginal legends, they are very true. They're very true. I mean, I've got to deal with this one tail horse. Nunjin. I can tell you the whole story about that, whether you believe it or not. It's a real thing. But there's one that scares me even more. And this is why I think I ended up being the body that the Archangel Michael and just happened to all be. Get the name, where I was christened, where I was taught, time, the stones in my pocket, it all adds up. One story that scares me the most that my father told me. 7,500 years ago, our people watching this tremendous battle in the sky, where there was flashings and lightnings, or some stars were bursting and all kinds of stuff. And we didn't know quite what was happening. And then I used to see these things fall from the sky at this big calamity. Now, usually when we see meteorites and that come from the sky, we know that's usually a stronger metal, a heavier metal. To be able to make things. So with that metal there, we made things. So when this, watching this calamity, this big thing, 7,500 years ago, up in the sky, my people, they noticed this real big one come out the sky, and it fell down. I thought, right, we'll go get this one and we'll make some metal axes and stuff out of that. Good things that we can use that are harder than the material that we got. And they rocked up there and they come across what was thought to be supposed to be a stone, a large one because it's really big. Biggest one that they had seen come down. They usually only come down very small. This one was massive. When they got there, there was basically how could I put it? A human-shaped creature. It looked like it was covered in black stone and burnt. Had a couple of protrusions coming out of its back. And they approached this thing, and it got up, and it killed 17 of them, like that, just by touching them. And they all jumped back, like they see, and this creature took off. Right? It was a death killer. It was death itself, this creature. I think it was a fallen angel. But whatever it touched, it killed. Several times they attempted to approach this thing. Several times a few people got killed. Now they could not hurt it. They could not kill it. They could not even pierce its skin, whatever it was made from. But my people, they had powers and magic where they could throw lightning at someone. And their spears and all that there as well. And the ability to be able to levitate rocks and drop things on people, big ones, size of a house. But nothing they threw at him would harm it. It'd push it back, but it would never harm it. So they tracked this thing for 7.5 years after it was causing all this calamity. And wherever it stepped on the ground, the worms would come up dead. If it brushed past a tree, the tree would die. This creature was nothing but death. Whatever it touched, it was death. It would die. So it was easy to track this creature. Managed to corner it. A few tribes by now, working together. They corner it, and they got a little bit of help from the creatures that don't come into the fire no more. The little wood archie, the little watchers, the little people. The ones with a tunistic language. That's another story why I don't come in. But they was there at that time. They helped them. And they encased this creature in stone. This creature is still encased in stone. And they moved that stone, the men, because this creature also had affinity to kill women. It's a life taker, women are life givers. Right? So they decided only men are going to deal with it from now on. So they took this stone, and they took it out to a place called Murrin, which we have the biggest copper mine in West Australia, is Murrin copper mines. In that area there, over the side of that, there's a big giant salt lake. And that stone was put in there in a sacred place. In that sacred place, no women allowed to cross that salt lake. No women at all. It's forbidden. Even up at Lake Rayside, the salt lake next to it, where I go, the top part is forbidden for women to go in there. Forbidden. And even the white law will not let you go in there. Yes, forbidden. Okay? Now, my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother, this is where my connection comes. They were being chased by the local authorities, the government of the day, because they thought my great-grandmother was under the age of 18, so making her property of the state, because we were in slavery time. This is back in the 30s, early 20s, in the 30s. Early 20s, I believe. Right, so they absconded, got married. Then some people in the tribe started kicking up, oh, no, you shouldn't have married off. She belongs to this one, she belongs to that one. Become lustful, wanting my great-grandmother. Well, my great-grandfather, my great-grandmother, they took off, being chased by both laws now, and they crossed that lake. Now, my grandfather, being a Muslim man, having the name Akbar, wears the turban and all. When he originally come over 40 camels. He was the second installment of camel drovers from Afghanistan. He was Afghan. But he come out when at the time it was freshwater India. So they classed him as Indian. This is before Pakistan was even Pakistan. Okay? Peshawar is in Pakistan, not in India. So he come over his 40 camels and opened up his business. And he met that woman and they became lovers. The first child, Jack Akbar, has been recorded, died up at the mission out there at the Mara mission, next to that. Very right next to it. I forget the name of that actual mission, but that's where the first. But that child was born, lived about 3 minutes, and passed away. Jack Akbar. So they decided it's time to go. These men wanted to take that woman. Police wanted to take that woman. He believed that she's woman. She loved him. She didn't want to go with any of them. So they ran away. And him being a devout man, he thought, right, I can't have her going across this lake. So it must be something there that she's not allowed to see. So what he did is he got the truck that they was in, with all the fuel, extra fuel, bloody everything, because they went bush. Now 3 Featherfoot were chasing him. You can't get away from Featherfoot, but they did. And he put her in a chest. And she stayed inside the chest while they crossed that there. So he thought if she didn't see it and didn't touch the ground, then that wouldn't have been sacrilege. So in his way of thinking, he had, accomplished that. But no, these 3 Featherfoots couldn't find them. When they couldn't find them, they thought, hang on a sec. There's only one way they could have got away from us. They must have crossed that lake. They found the tracks where they had crossed. And they knew by then there was no way of catching them. They ended up escaping all the way to South Australia. So what they did was go back to the tribe. And my great-great-grandmother, Jurugulu, of full blood, was speared to death. And when her blood touched the ground, that was it. They broke a law. Because they could have done anything with the punishment. Like banish her. Marry her off to someone. Give her a flogging. Could have done anything but kill her. But because of their evil lust for that woman, her daughter, they just killed her straight right. So the moment that one blood touched the ground, I was down to that angel in the lake, Salt Lake. I was bound to the pale horse. I was bound to come. It's a blood curse. If you don't know what a blood curse is, a real blood curse, that's a real blood curse. They performed a ceremonial killing by law, which was wrong, in a lustful manner. And I say that's wrong because lust, greed, envy, we never had words for these before colonization. These were new to us. The words that they have now is something close in nature that describes that. But there's never words for these things, these feelings. Almost like in Eden. Almost like when the settlers come over, they opened up Pandora's box. And if you know anything about Pandora's box, that's the same as eating the apple. Become self-aware of certain things. Nakedness. You know? Black fellas can't walk around bloody everything hanging out now. Shame. No? Greed. Stuff like that. And lusts. No? Basically in Eden. Come and ruin that. Eden's been ruined all over the world. It's not just the Garden of Eden. You've got to look. That Bible is sort of a bit of metaphor. They are talking about one secular place. It's up there in the mountains. In between the European countries and the Middle East. There somewhere. Now, a lot of things in this world that I don't tell you about. A lot of things. And look at what's happening now. Jag, the freedom fighter, no matter how much she tries, everyone's still going to keep trolling her. That's just the act of a freedom fighter. Kind of got that ditty, the felon. Haha, that's not allegedly. That's a factual deal, that one. But he's still playing his game. He didn't get quite what he should have got. And that's only because of the evil corruption that runs the rest of the world. I reckon Jag was right onto something when she was saying that ditty list probably completed a thin list. I bet you it did. I bet you it sure as hell did. It'll be interesting to see what was on all those tapes. Oh, how much tapes? Over 100 odd, 40 odd tapes. I don't care about the baby bottles. Well, despite the fact most of them were laced. So what's that about? Why wasn't that brought up? Big hoo-ha in the YouTube land and all over the world. Baby, all these jokes. But not even mentioned in court. Barely mentioned. Why did you have all these drugs inside this a baby oil, Mr. Diddy? That question I don't think was ever asked. Right? And where happened to 148 tapes, I remember first count. So God knows how many they found when they finally searched the place. What happened to them? I'm thinking tapes, gee, they're at least 3 hours long, with the VHS tapes. And if he's got tapes, well, bloody, must be VHS. You know, tapes, come on now. We're in the modern days, wouldn't there be USBs? Wouldn't there even be a DVD player? You know? You think that one. What's going on with that? You know, you think that one. It's like analog TV. We're now in the digital age. The whole world had to give up its analog TVs. Those big square box things that sometimes go green because the color shits themselves. You know, that was actually, we should have kept them. Digital was a failing technology. What did they do with that? That technology, that platform is still available. So what are they using that for? Military purposes. Right? When it comes to looking from a battle cruiser or an aircraft carrier at the guy inside the plane ready to do the bombing 1,000 miles away, they're not using digital relay technology. They're using analog. Because digital technology is easy to disrupt, easy to jam, right? And it is a failing technology. So easy it is to jam that you just turn on a blender and chuck a handful of nuts and bolts in there, and that'll jam that straight away. Seriously. Because of the vibrations that's coming out of it. Believe it or not, that'll jam it. Make the TV shit itself. The phone won't get no reception. Digital is a failing technology. Right? And they can control things better with the digital. Shut things better off with the digital. you had analog TV, you didn't have delays in transmission. When you had real-time TV, it was almost real-time TV. If digital is so perfect and so futuristic, how come when we still have real-time TV, we still have a little bit of delay? It's getting better, but I don't know how much of a delay, because sometimes when I say things, use a saying about a minute after what I said, the answer. So I know there's a delay, but I also know there's a delay in typing too. So, no. You never used to get that with the main TV. You know, when they first invented TV, they had 100 TVs. And it was in England. And they had them in all the rich houses in England. And it was about this big, actual big giant body jukebox type thing, with a little tiny TV like that in it. And that's how they used to talk to each other. Keep control of the commoners that can't afford a TV. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was originally for. And they thought, hang on a sec, we can control the whole world with this. And now you got, what is that? I like that song. No? TV, the ignorance of a nation. No? Oh, feeding bullshit and feeding radiation. Or something like that. Yeah, well. Now we got to see digital. Now we've got the YouTube. Now we've got our own channels. I would have never have thought this when I was in the 80s. In the 80s, well, I was still pulling around my square bit of cardboard with my silver stereo doing breakdance. Or getting around with my Walkman, or trying to get through school. No, never would have thought we'd have the ability to have our own channels, to be on air. Never would I have thought that we would have the ability to talk to famous people. No, that's fantastic. Knowing Jaguar Wright, a famous person, A-class celebrity herself, never would have thought that would happen. And to meet the people that she's had on her show, like the lady that wrote The Matrix, that's amazing, that one. I put that one right up my sister, because they got that, she's even got it on her site, red pill, blue pill, they're all into that, these young ones and that there. I said, oh, well, I got to listen to the lady that actually wrote The Matrix. They didn't even know it was a black woman. How about that? This goes to show you the thinking. Stupid. And all that time they're saying red pill, blue pill. I said, well, that's just mix them together and they make purple. And you have a look, red pill, blue pill, that's just either side of the argument in the political scale too. That's what that means. And when the political scale is asked, what do they usually argue about? Well, the level of sexuality and what we claim it to be, and also the level of money that needs to be spent and distributed to here or where. Well, when you mix red and blue together, you make purple. Now that purple, what's purple? Purple represents wealth. So that's what they're arguing over when you mix them two. Where to dispense the wealth. And also, as I know it, purple also means a sexual frustration. So they're going to argue over the levels of where we have the sex too. And isn't that politics? Isn't that's what all that politics is all about? Red pill, blue pill, eh? Mix them together, or you're going to get us purple. Funny thing is, purple is the same color as that fentanyl tablet. Now, we don't have it really on the street like they do in Canada and America. That's terrible. But that's a purple pill. And they say you can have one world or another. One's more realistic, one's more fanciful. Well, on that fentanyl, aren't they in both worlds? Aren't they enjoying both worlds? Well, they're in a fantasy world, but they're still in this world nonetheless. Bent over there, looking at the wall, looking at the feet, ruling. Man, I've heard of buzzes before, but I can find a better buzz than sitting there cramped over like that with your ass in there waiting to get taken. My God. Wow. Oh, this is cool, man. That's the young drug here. Okay, whatever. 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 Oh, sorry, excuse me. Oh, that's smoking too, guys. Years and years of smoking. I quit a few years ago, but the after effects. And then when I got that COVID shot, which was a scam, all the underlying elements inside me come bad. Started to have a short breath. I've never used to have short breath before. Problem with the phlegm, got the blood clot, all kinds of shit happened. All kinds of stuff. So whatever I had in that bloody little bloody tube they give us, well, I'll never get food like that again. Made a lot of people sick, that stuff. Being an Aboriginal person, they said, oh, you have to take the Pfizer. You can't take the AstraZeneca because we know that's going to clot you right up with your people. So, okay, so how do you know that? This stuff hasn't even been tested properly to hit the market, but they already know that. Okay? Because this cures, they're ready to go before that disease, I reckon, even come out. It's too quick. You don't rush. We take 4 to 6 years. Any other medication to make sure that we're not going to bring a poison to the world. Right? To make sure it actually does what we're going to say it does. The whole process you've got to go through. That one never went through any process. And how many variants did they allow to chuck on? You know, how many variants of the same vaccine was they allowed to chuck on? How much money was passed hands? I keep telling the world, the governments don't run the world, not in a democracy. In a democracy is business that determines the fashion of life. That's a democracy. We live in a democracy world. Most of it. You know? When is that going to come into place? When they first invented, oh my God. Everything that we have now in the world, when it comes to law, especially like the most westernized countries and these democracy countries, most English-speaking countries, we all have a law system. Most of these courts have that old lady with the scales, the blindfold, and the sword. And they say, oh, justice is supposed to be blind. Well, when it originally was invented, the current system of law, like lawyers, judges, was in Rome. Ancient Rome again. Rome is responsible for a lot of the things that we have in this world and a lot of the things that we do in this world. Rome's come up with senates, come up with governments, right? They also come up with law. They also come up with the modern idea of the first hospitals and having them in a building. A lot of things that we have now is straight from the Roman Empire, including the tools you use to get cataracts out of eyes, which back then, the same shape as the ones we got now, just a bit bigger. And they come from the Middle East. The Arab people invented those. Everything we got comes from the Roman Empire. When they first invented this law, yes, justice was blind because they believed that you were not allowed to bring any visual things into that court. Okay, so it was blind to anything that you bring into that court as visual evidence. Thus meaning that you could only speak. And it was up to the judge to weigh. But they're blind to anything that you show. Okay? That's how they run the justice. And the first real sort of law that they had was the one that benefits from this crime is usually the one that's the criminal. So, like if you have a case where someone gets killed and inheritance comes in and people are arguing over it, the one that's going to benefit usually is the one that knocked him off. That's the policy. That was the thinking of the time. All from the Roman Empire, guys. All from the Roman Empire. Right? Your year that we're in now, the time that we have, Roman Empire, this is a Julian calendar that we run under. Right? It's a Julian calendar. You get every letter of the first word of everybody letter in the days of the year. You get the word Jason. Jason is the name of Caesar's son. Okay? So it's a Julian calendar. Roman. BC is not before Christ, and DC is not bloody. What is it? BC is not before Christ, and AD is not after death. Get that out of your head. That's a Roman concept. BC is before continuum, or before continuization, or before curriculum, right? And AD is after denominization. There's nothing to do before Christ and after death. Nothing. Christ was 30 years before that, or 30 years after. Roman. Romans, look at the sundials of a Roman. Perfectly tuned each hour to the hours of the day that we have now. So your timing system comes from Rome. Roman numerals are equal to normal numbers that we write 1, 2, and 3. Very similar. But to equate large equations, you would need a big giant chalkboard, a mile long, to do a single sum in our mass and in their Roman numerals. So they needed something more when they went to outer space, started thinking quantum physics. Hindu pi. When they went to Hindus, they discovered this language, pi, where a symbol could mean X amount of zeros. And that's how you got your quantum language now. No? Simple as that. It's all connected. It's all Roman ideas. The way you have senates in your laws, in your governments, the way we have courts, the way we have hospitals, the way we have the year. Even Constantine declared when Jesus was born, because he wasn't born on the 25th. Try the 14th of April, guys, is Jesus' birthday. Right? Christmas. Yes, we've been that indoctrinated with Christmas. But we've also been indoctrinated with bloody Coca-Cola by Christmas. Over 100 years ago, what they do? Change that green Santa Claus. It used to be a green Santa Claus. Green he used to wear. Turned into a red Santa Claus for their ad campaign. Now that's all you see everywhere. The red Santa Claus. So I wonder how much Coke gets in royalties from all these red Santa Clauses. That's Coca-Cola. That's the Coca-Cola Santa. You know, that's why everyone rush, rush, rush. Buy. Well, it's all about the presents. No, it's not. So it's good to get presents. I give you now. It is. One good thing. That is a good thing. If enough people put good faith in something, even though it was created for something else, you know, that's one good thing. And where did that originally come from? Because you don't hear about Saint Nick in the Bible. There's no Father Christmas in the Bible. Okay? Who decreed that his day was going to be the 25th? Where did that originally come from? Because you got a few. You got Saint Nick. You know, got Father Christmas and you got Santa Claus. Which one is the real one? No? Or you got Kris Kringle. The only one that I actually know of is Saint Nicholas, the friar that used to carve the toys for the kids and bring them at that time every year. That's the only one I know of. So, not a gimmick. Santa, yeah, well, I mean, jeez, as I got older, as I see things, all the things I watched, all the movies, all the songs, all the things I used to believe in, Easter Bunny, bloody Santa Claus, all these good things that I used to think that were Australian and proud of, I found out they're all evil-minded, all evil-based, no part of some sort of evil plan. I am glad you do not have my eyes. If you had my eyes for 5 minutes, you would beg me to take them back in 3 seconds. Why people think you're doom and gloom, you're crazy. Yeah, well, you have to be in this world. You have to be a little bit crazy in this world to get past it. Everyone's a little bit crazy. You just try not to lose it. It's a fine line between crazy and not. And that's why that rock nation knows how to chase his Jaguar and others alike, like Lady Gaga. And they try to put him on the crazy, put him in a crazy house, so they can deframe all their words and everything they say. Oh, you don't listen to her, she's crazy. They did the same thing to Nikola Tesla, guys, and to Rudolf Steiner. Those two men are responsible for everything you have in this world, in the educational wise and electronical wise. Before the 1900s, Rudolf Steiner and Nikola Tesla were geniuses. One started about talking about giving out free energy. The other talked about giving out free education. They're mad. My God, man. Free energy? Free education? Free energy. Where do we get free energy? We need money for that, man. And free education. How are we going to control the masses if we give them a free education? We keep them dumb and blindfolded, man. That's how we maintain the power. And I didn't believe it, so after that, those two men were seen as fucking crazy. All your telephones, all your technology, all your things, all theorized by Nikola Tesla. 80% of the world's education is run off the Waldorf system style education created by Rudolf Steiner. That's it. When they were for the faculty and for the foundation and for the synagogues and for the rich, it was good. Oh, beautiful. When they started talking about giving out free money and free education, they become mad. You're mad, man. You're mad. Free money, free energy. My God. You start talking about free energy when you have Westinghouse built Niagara Falls with the generators there. He said, we should do that for free energy. You're mad, man. Mad. Crazy. And there you go. No, by controlling the narrative of education, you control the level of the mind. You control the capacity to be able to see and work out things. Smithsonian Institute, it's got a lot of your bloody education. You want to go and take that building apart, tell them to release everything they got. It's in there in America. I would be. A lot of things in there, a lot of history in there has been hidden away, guys. And then you got the CIA. The CIA, not supposed to have any power at all. Not even though it's supposed to really carry a gun. They got no powers of arrest in the American Constitution. That's the FBI's job. That's why you always see the FBI and a smoking man in the background. CIA is just supposed to collect intelligence. That is it. Because they are spies, they are exempt from certain things while spying. Technically, they're not allowed to carry a gun. They've got no powers of arrest in America. They've got no jurisdiction whatsoever. Yet they've got more stealth bombers than the military. They've got their own space shuttle, their own space program, where 6 of them will get on a shuttle and go up there for 6 months. No one knows where they go, because they don't go to the International Space Station. So what they got hidden up there. Okay? Why they got so much power? Why are they allowed to have so much power? Because you control. They went to say, well, okay, we're going to do information. Information is everything. We want to know the flies on the African arsehole, flies arsehole in Australia, and we know all the hairs on every arsehole fly around the world. And then we'll go up from there. And systematically, everything that you've got, even what's on a grain of sand, is information. So that's what they want to collect. They went out to UFOs and everything that's got to do with information. You control the information, you control the narrative. Where do you think all this black money goes to? How do you think they fund? They got a certain amount of funding, the CIA, yet they can buy bloody stealth fighters, stealth jets, all this technology, spaceships, way more than the American people have themselves. Yet they have no power of arrest. That's strange. Why are they allowed to function like that? No? Think about it. Think about it. And he wants to change it to, what was it? The Defense Council. He wants to change it to the Council of War. That's because he wants to take you to war. He's not going to mess around, Trump. He's a tyrant. Right? He's a tyrant. But he's the lesser evil than letting them other ones in, because they would just let you bend right over, and they had a right roll. He drew it up your bum without any lubrication. They wouldn't have even borrowed some of Diddy's. Right? That's what they're going to do to you, that Kamala and that Biden. Oh, no way. No, them two there. Oh, Christ. You're lucky. You dodged a real bullet with that one, America. Because they would have flushed you down really quick. Trump's going to take you to war. He's the tyrant. He got 4 years. He's going to make an impact. No, he got 4 years, guys. He's going to make an impact. He's going to take us to war. That's why he wants the War Council. If it's the Defense Council, you've got certain parameters that you're only allowed to operate by because you're defense. But when you're a War Council, well, that's war. That's a different ball game altogether. That means all that the Defense Council, cop this, all that the Defense Council was bound by to the American government and American laws and the international laws becomes null and void because that was that entity body's name. There's a new entity body's name. It's called the Council of War. We're going to have a new bunch of policies. See how that one works? It's not just a change of name. It's like in Australia. They used to have customs. Customs in Australia is illegal to our Constitution. Right? Because they had the powers of arrest, powers of seizure, and the powers of search. Now, in our Australian Constitution, the only ones that can have the powers of seizure, powers of search, and all that there, is a branch of the police. Well, Customs was a separate body. So what did they do? They changed it into Border Force, which now is an extension of the federal police. So technically, everything that was seized by Customs before they changed their name to Border Force was totally illegal. And that is why you have this movement now, Nick, in this country of this sovereign people. Right? Because of things like that. An illegal operating body, been operating since we created Customs, totally illegal to our Constitution, yet allowed to function with all the powers of arrest and seizure. Now, this is true because I had to take down these signs, custom signs, with two armed border force now, with their guns. Make sure I took all the signs down. You know? That's a fact. They was the legal binding entity. And I found out from a rich guy that tried to bring in a Ferrari. He said, I don't have to pay import tax. I said, well, we're going to keep it impounded until you do. He says, no, I'll take this to court. And he took him to court, and the judge turned around and said, no. We know what the law says, but we don't care. You're going to have to pay because we say you have to. So he ended up having to pay. But that shows you how corrupt it was, how corrupt the world really is, how corrupt Australia is, how they changed it. How a change of word is not a change of word, it's a change of the whole thing. By changing it into bloody border force, they now made it illegal. That's what we can't get us now. We're legal. It's a branch of the Canberra bloody no federal police force. And then because if you was from the past, oh, you charged me this, you charged me this. Technically, I should get that back. It was on the customs. No. We've got a little policy in. We made sure we all voted that one, slipped that through the Senate without these mob knowing. We usually pin those ones with a little thing to the file that really bullshitting about. We got a lot of little clip in there. We'll clip that one in. Click. This Australian mob there like cows, they got no idea. They got wool over their eyes. We put all this bullshit in, we got them fucked. They got no idea what's going on. And they do this to us every day. Every day. America's terrible. Terrible with its politics. Terrible with its politics. Terrible with its laws. When I was growing up, it used to be, oh, yep, America, the land of the suing. Everyone sues everyone in America. Well, it's over here the same now, too. Ridiculous. 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 I don't think that any of these high-profile ones are going in there for these civil lawsuits. Oh, this one touched me. He just this. I'm going to take you. No, if you've done something to them, take them to bloody proper law court. Criminal. I'm not down for this civil shit. That doesn't, to me, doesn't sound like a civil case when you scratch someone in the eye. That's a bloody assault charge. Get a criminal conviction, and then a judge will determine whether there's any compensation to be had. Right? Lack of evidence gets thrown out of court. So that bullshit one where you can try and sue, it's kind of a bit of crap, guys. You want to piss that system clean off. Make it a bit more, you can't just sue for anything. Because you're fucking in your narrative for the day. And I'm sorry, but I will say one thing. We have to reverse what we call fat shaming. This is wrong. Because by taking away the fat shaming, where we're not allowed to say how big someone is. Yes, I can understand not big, because I've got this fat kid myself. Right, my last name is Akbar. They gave me the nickname Fatbar. So I know all about that. But I also have a brain. And some humans are bigger than regular humans. Right? My argument is when you've got someone that's an extra large size lady that goes into a clothing store and she's barking and foaming at the mouth and cutting on why should she have to pay so much for her shirt when the shirt over there is the same shirt and it's only $25. Well, because, Mom, you're using a bed sheet's worth of material, and we have to get one of those street sign painters to come and write it on the shirt. You're that big. Look at the average coffin. When they did a test in America, and they did a test in Australia, average coffin is almost to a double bed size. Wow. You got people that are that big. How did they get that big and get bigger and can't even move where they got to cut down a half a wall and pull them out of a house? When is that okay? Is that okay with you? Are we all allowed to be gluttons like that? Because gluttony is a sin. Fat shaming is brought in by Satan to allow sinnery, to allow sinning of glutton. Yes, we all can be chubby, but there's a certain amount of weight. I was saying to my son, my oldest son, He's a big lad. He's fat. He really is. There's no shame in that. He'll even say it himself. Right? But he's become proud of it. He used to be never proud of that. He used to be have a little bit of shame, a little bit of self-decorum because of the fitness level and the health level. Now he's only in his 30s, and he's already had one of those deals where half the face sags down for a while because he pissed the nerve because he just lays there on the game. No? He's got problems with him that I don't have because of the overweightness. I told him, I said, well, you're not an average size human boy. You're bigger. Like asking he was going to get a scooter, electric scooter. I said, well, you want to start looking at the ones from $3,000 to up to $6,000 for you, boy. Why is that? I said, well, you got it in your mind that you're fucking some lightweight ferry. They got you in your work thinking because the work laws that you're some sort of ferry, lightweight ferry that doesn't weigh anything at all, right? Because you don't have to think about yourself anymore as a weightiest person because we're not allowed to fat shame. That's the way the laws are. You go around with your head up your ass type attitude thinking that you fucking weigh like a fairy, that you're only still a little Chinese girl, right? Mentality. And you can go and buy that same thing. No, son, you're too big. You need to buy the one that's got the extra springs, extra shocks, because the moment you go over the first curve, it's going to snap it off. Get to reality. But they're not in reality, see? We fucking functionate in a world where we allow this not to be reality. Reality it is, some people are fat, too big to be on that plane. They should be paid for 2 seats. Too big to get in that Uber. You should fucking wait for a bus or a truck. And what, they're allowed to keep going like that? Just to keep fucking eating? Keep getting bigger? I will not hear a single person in this world say, I'm big boned. Oh, that's one I really get this, because there's no such fucking thing. That's a disease that hits about 8 people in the whole fucking world. Yearly. If you're lucky. Just fat. Simple as that. You're not big boned, you're fat. And I'm going to start this bloody bullshit. This is fat shaming. I'm not shaming. I'm not going to say bully them. When someone's big, you should be allowed to call them that. So maybe you should fucking have a look at your weight. You expect all this in society to happen. Well, why don't you get off your ass and get fit? You expect it all to be coming to you on Uber Eats. Uber this and I've never used an Uber in my life. And I never will. Should be banned. Should be banned. Should be banned. Your country is always worried about your national fitness. How they've got all these health things on cigarettes. Well, wouldn't they be worried about this fast food bullshit? Fast food, which they naturally say is bad for you. And you'll get it delivered to you by Uber Eats. Straight to your bed if you want. And I don't want to hear this, oh, I paid for it. Well, you're not rich. Right? Don't carry on like you're fucking beyond your means. Don't carry on like your fucking nose is up here, like you live in Beverly Hills and you live in Armadale. That's what they do. Because we got this here, like Maggie. She thought she was some sort of star. And that one's fucking it. Look at the ones that goes on their heads on YouTube. They think this. Oh, I'm the one that told Jag the algorithm. Oh, bullshit. Where's he gone? Donut. Fucking gone the way of a rotten donut. Don't hear about him no more. No? Have a look what's going on. Have a look at how the people are, how they act, how they be. We can do better than this. You can't have 9 billion narratives running. That's a chaotic fucking world, guys. Whose rule are we going to follow? I'm not following yours. I got my own. We've got to have rules. We've got to have a basic set of rules, and we've got to have a cutoff point. Right? And that's got to do with the physiology and the sexuality and everything else that we got going on. Because we ain't going to clean this world up unless we do. The one they got functioning now is not quite right. It really isn't. And poor America, they've just had like Australia, we've just had the woke go straight to, right, and become part of the society, and we have to adapt to that. I kind of reckon it's a bit bullshit that we got that, because it's really destructing. It's really destroying things, that woke stuff. You still could have got your messages out in your communities without this woke plus, right? That didn't need to be pushed in people's face. That's why you had a turnaround. When you push things in people's face and they have to put up with it, and they don't really like it, you keep doing it again and again and again and again and again, they're going to have like America. They'll vote woke out. Trump got in. What did he say? Woke's gone. Man, woman, no woke. Not in the industry of kids. Schools, same. Secular toilets. He destroyed woke just like that. Right? So we don't need woke. Right? We don't need it. We can still functionate without that wokeness. That's another bloody plan. That woke, I keep telling the community, you are a strong community. You deserve to have your message given out. And I will fight for you. I really will. But by making it woke, bringing in that rainbow flag, you allow these pedophiles to steal your idea, to come in under the radar through that community. And they have. Look on the internet. Look what's going on now. Look at all these school killings, these shootings. Why are they all transgender? Why are most of them, 90% of them in America and around the world, are going through these transgender phases? Why? Isn't that not telling you something? That we shouldn't be fucking doing that? Right? There's investigation in America now about it. They put it together. I put it together a few years ago because it didn't fit the narrative. They didn't put it out. But now you've got a man in America running the show. We decided, no, we're going to have a cutoff point because this is sending society crazy. This identity crisis. When you have an identity crisis, that's the sign of a fall of an empire. Okay? That's the sign of the fall of an empire. Everyone has an identity. We all are accepting and tolerating. But you don't need to push it in every kind of fucking face. You don't need to go to the extreme and the stupidness. To the extreme, guys. The stupid things that you ask for. Come on! You're lucky we let you even be woke. No, think about it. 40 years ago, we were locking you up. Put you in electric therapy. Deemed you as a mental case. The science has not changed. Just the narrative has. The acceptance has. The tolerance has. The rules has. Equal opportunity has. Not love. Love has nothing to do with any sexuality. And I will say that again and again and again. Because I love my mother and I love my children. And I do not have sex with them. So you cannot put sex as love at any time. This love is not sex is sex. That's where the confusion is. Sex is an act of procreation. We're lucky we get a bit of a spike out of it. That's God giving us a thank you for continuing on life. And we perverted it and we made it a lustful thing. So we can do that. We're allowed to. Right? Some books it says, don't want you to do it out of wedlock. Some it does, some it does. Some believe this, some believe in 40 wives, some believe in one wife. We've got to keep a check on life. Keep a check on death. Keep it at a happy balance. There's only so much this earth can supply. And we're well over the limit now. Even the UN, the test is worth the way the supplies we got. 2.5 billion people. No more on this planet. Otherwise we're going to deplete it. How many we got? 9 billion. No, that's why it says in that Bible, a third have to be slipped off. He even knows in the Bible by the time it gets to this part. There's going to be too many people to feed, too many people to save, too many people. You know, if I do have my way. I do. I do. I can choose. Get all the bad guys if you really want to. It's going to be hard. I'll have to get access to all areas, but I can get them all. Right? I can be that archangel you want. Because the archangel never comes to save, guys. Every time he comes to do something, he comes to fight. That's all he does. Right? He saves you by fighting. That's how he saves you. I'm not the savior, that's Jesus. I'm the fighter. I'm the weapon, the sword and the shield. So when I come, it's to punish. I'm not sent any other time. Read your Bible. Read your history of the Archangel Michael. All I do is fight. Okay? All I do is stand up for the right thing and fight. I do not come down and save. I do not come down and bless. I come to fight. I come to punish. Sometimes I come to kill. There's other angels that do that shit. Gabriel, they come down to do all that blessing and stuff. Not me. Nowhere does it say I do any of that. I don't bless anyone. I come down to punish. Come down to lay down the law. I am the chief of angels. There might be demons. There might be angels on earth and in hell. There might be rogue ones. There might be ones that sit on the fence. But at the end of the day, they have to follow my orders. I am the chief angel, the only one. The only one is named Archangel Michael. All other archangels are false. There's only one built different. God did this for a reason. A very good reason. And that is the end of that. That's why I'm so different. I have nothing like you're going to read. Nothing like you read in your brother Constantine Bible with satanic bloody images giving you the semblance that angels are going to come down with the fairy wings and the wand and save you. Jesus is going to save you. He's a savior. He got you up to heaven. Now he's going to do the full job when he comes. When he comes. If he comes. Man pulls their finger out, they might not have to need him. But they want you. Oh, we've got to be saved. Can't fucking save yourself, can you? Which you can, you got that ability, but you can't work that one out yet. You're going to pray and beg. Well, I'm here now. I walk among you now. Whether you like it or believe me or not, I don't really care. I got all the receipts, everything but a halo and the wings. And you're wrong thinking there's halos. It's not a halo. No, the oldest pictures of Archangel Michael, he's wearing pretty much a hat like I am, but it's made out of steel. Right? It's more like a World War I helmet. Right? Because they're the best helmets to use in sword fighting. Right? With a grip like that, they hit you in the head, shears off the side, protects the side of the neck from being cut across. When I come in the sun, shines around the rim and looks like a halo. But I have come with a helmet of war, not a halo. Where you see it shining is because I use the sun to my advantage. Because I'm a weapon of war, and I know war. I know war, the first thing you do in war is you divide your enemy. How do you divide an enemy? What do you do when you divide a people? First, you get the woman. Once you've got that woman, the kids will follow, and so will the men. The life givers, go for them first. That's what they do in every war. You know. Then you break up the alliances. Two teams are good, yes. They might have arguments between each other, so they'll emphasize that, break that little team up, make it weaker. No alliances, no unions. Then they get down to the community and start making you separate by race, color, creed, gangs, territory. No, you could all be black people, but you all go over territory in a gang. So when you talk about racism, well, have a look at your own selves first. How racist you are against your own self before you'll talk about anyone else being racist to you. Have you ever thought of that one? Because I guarantee you that you don't. It's like some of the people over here. When you've got a slave mind, that's all you're ever going to be. A slave in your mind. A slave pattern. Always blaming someone for your downfall. Think about that. You take it from an outside perspective, not a white person, an alien. Come down and you heard the banter. You know, they wouldn't agree with you either. Listen to what you say. Listen to what you do. No? Talk yourselves out of things and you talk yourselves into things by having this mentality. You are bloody free people. We're supposed to be free people. You should think there hasn't been slavery, well, over in America for how long? None of you have been slaves, unless you've been part of that industry where they locked you up and made you one. That's the legal industry, slave industry. That's what we're trying to fight against. Right? When it comes to the government slavery and the world slavery, well, none of us. Some in Australia can. They still got the whip marks on them. Right? 1967 here, guys. You've had a whole world of experience of freedom in America. We weren't even classed as human. Remember that. When it comes to, well, UN laws, America come to us and said, well, we got these UN laws coming in, and you have to start treating those indigenous, those black fellows there better. Or we're going to have to put sanctions against your country, like we do these Asian countries when they're doing the same to little villages. But we'll turn the blind eye if you give us your Australian troops in this Vietnam War we got coming up. What's that Vietnam War about? Well, what it's about is that's got the Golden Triangle, see? And the French have been in there for years and years, and they've been farming opium and from the poppy seeds and leaching the opium and that there. And it's a big business, right? And we're getting a lot of the pharmaceutical medicine from that opium and that's the biggest circle of drugs in the world. This is before Colombia and all that was even a thing. Right? It was the Golden Triangle. Vietnam was part of it. All throughout that jungle, the French were growing it. That's why the French wanted to hold on. The French fought there a few years before America went in. Okay? Those people wanted their country back. So they started pushing back. Okay? Never about political. Never about people. It was about drugs and the controlling of drugs. There's the big money they had. Okay? Pol Pot, the leader of the Viet Cong against America and all the rest of the nations that fought Vietnam. He said, unless they're going to sit down for the next 1,000 years and eat rice, they will never defeat us. And he was right. Okay? That's what it was all over. Drugs. 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 That was a drug war. You don't know that, do you? Hey, it's a drug war. Vietnam was a drug war. Afghanistan was a drug war. 80% of the world's heroin, medicinal, and world's heroin comes from Afghanistan. The moment America took back over Afghanistan, for that 20 years or so, they realized, oh shit, these people don't have any money. They are the ones that instituted. America didn't burn no crops because the Taliban were burning the crops. the drugs. When America got there and took over, they instituted a cash crop straight away. Drugs, poppy seeds, fields and fields of them. Okay? Not wheat, not food for the people. Drugs. Drugs. That's what that was. No fucking oil there. Why would they want to have a war there? Why would you want to go with that piece of land? Drugs. It's the best bloody growing place for poppies. 80% of the world's medicinal heroin comes from Afghanistan. Drugs. Why was they in Iraq? Oil. Why did they get rid of Gaddafi? Oil. Money. Drugs. Oil. They don't give a fuck about humans. All they care about is greed, war, drugs, money. The pharmaceutical companies run the world. That's who had the COVID injections ready to go. They got more money than everyone else in the world, the pharmaceutical companies. And what gives out the pharmaceuticals? The advertisement companies. So your governments don't run the world. Big business runs the world. Determined by pharmaceutical companies on the price of health and advertisement companies on the price of living. The government just sit back and rake it in and think up a new tax law where they can rake more in, more and more and more, and claim it's ours to protect you. But the laws are against you. Keeps you locked in. How's it protecting you? At the same time, it's exactly like North Korea. Okay? And they feed you a whole bunch of bullshit about that place. It's called propaganda, people. Look back at World War II. Germans weren't built like fucking apes. But the propaganda will have you believe that they are. Japanese didn't have big giant buck teeth that come down here. But the propaganda will have you believe they did. There's propaganda. All that shit in Ukraine. Oh, 200 missiles from bloody Russia hit Ukraine. I bet there was about 3. I only seen one. Only seen one explosion. So how can there be 200 plus attacks? Come on now. I will not trust a thing in that Ukraine war. From the very first start, when they had the savior of Ukraine. That bullshit video game pilot fucking thing that they had in. I tried to pass off as a real plane. And it was actually the exact movement, exact plane from a bloody video game, Fallout. Whatever it was. You believe that? You want to believe that? The first thing that Zelensky did when he took over and went to power. Oh, we're at war now. No elections. So he's declared himself a dictator. For the first few months when all that money was going there, him and his wife were having a time. In the best suits. He had rows and rows of the best clothes. Oh, they showed that bunker. Supposed to be for people. That bunker full of their cars. All brand new, mind you. Oh, and then he got fingered out. Now he's walking around these little neo-Nazi uniform that he gets around in. You notice it's gone black? Black color like that there. Well, that's what these Nazis are getting around here now. See what's going on around the world. Now he might be a Ukrainian, but he's also a Jew. He's also a Jewish heritage. Oh, I'm Christian, I'm just Jewish. And then you got this other Jewish bloke over here that's annihilating those people. They don't show you at the food aid stations. All you're seeing is the front of that war. The hospitals get blown up, the food things. You go look where those poor buggers are getting their food. What they've done is, the Jews, they have put out these food stations out in certain parts of the desert, so they've got to travel out a fair way to get to them. When they get to them, they've got themselves lined up on either side with their tanks and their guns, taking pot shots. Every now and again, they just feel like getting, we'll shoot them too. Bye, bye, bye. Ah, ha, 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 ha. We got thousands, like sheep, penned in a small little fence, trying to get food. Look into it. That's your Jewish people. They're performing exactly what was done to them, what Hitler did to them. Genocide. You would have thought they'd have learned, but they're not. And they're allowed to freely go around and do that. Look up what's going on. Okay? I can't punish that mob. They're protected by God. He's going to punish them. They're doing bad. And when he punishes them, well, oh yeah. He's yeah. He gave them their special place in the world. That's why they still got a place right next to him. You know why? You know why God got him right next to him now, his favorite people? He sort of regrets that. Because they're not the type of people he thought they were going to be. When he first looked down, he looked down in rage. There's people being segregated and treated like they were. So he made a covenant for them. Well, you're the only one slipping up to heaven. Fuck the rest of the world. I'm flushing you down to hell. No, they made a deal with him. They haven't been cutting that deal. They think they can flaunt and treat God however they want with that little deal they got, in sort of the way they can, because they'll just say, you promised to protect us no matter what we do. All right, I'll protect us. I had a little space here in heaven just for you guys. Right here close to me. You know why? Because I know I stuffed up with you the first time, and this time I'm going to keep you right close to me so I know that you don't fuck up the universe. Because I made a mistake with you. Sorry. No? Yeah. So when it comes to their punishment, God's going to, like he says, I will deal with my people personally. They seem to think it's like, he's going to keep giving us deals and keep looking after us personally. Yeah, he'll look after you. That means if he has to unalive the whole lot of you in one foul swoop to take you up to heaven so he can look after you, he'll do it. That's looking after you too, you know. Looking right after you. Make sure you don't fucking go anywhere. Behave. Look after you like a child. Why do you think Moses never crossed that river? Because they stole the land of milk and honey. They were never given it. They were given that by the Rothschilds after World War II in 1947. They created the state of Israel. Before that, it belonged to the Saracen. You look at that movie, Kingdom of Heaven. No, Kingdom of Heaven, where Saladin took over Jerusalem from Balian. That was it, guys. Muslims owned Jerusalem all that time until 1947. And then the Rothschild said, I'll pay for this. We created a Jewish state. So they created a Jewish state. What the Jews started doing? What they started doing? They started going to these communities that had the Arabs and that living in them, the Muslims. They built big cement walls around them and locked them in. Kept them away from their fields for produce. We've only just gone through a whole bunch of wars just for that. Take a camera over there to the Holy Land. Bring back the real footage. Yes, the Holy Land. And look at that. The gate cracks. It moves. It wobbles. They found there's a big giant empty chamber underneath that gate. Never was there before. When that gate falls, angels and Jesus himself will walk through it. That's the time he's coming. He's cracking. The river is nearly dry and he irritates. I do not lie. I do not make up lies. I have no reason to lie. And I am the Archangel Michael who walks among you now. Do you not see what's going on? It will take time. What is happening now? Simple as that. Why is it happening now? Because people are becoming more self-aware. We are able to get the message out this way. They're starting to lose their control on us. People are becoming more aware of the corruption, of the evil. And when that happens, what are they going to do? How do we maintain our power? They're becoming too smart. They know everything that we do is corrupt. What are we going to do? We're going to roll like we do before. We're just going to plausibly deny. Hey, don't be silly. You must be conspiracy theorists. We just deny that happened. I don't believe that. I don't think that at all. But then when we find out, what do we find out? What do we find out? You know? What happens? You get bloke like Epstein. Fuck all wrong with him. Fit as a fiddle. Nothing medically going on with that boy. Right? Gets pinned. Using all these young girls to, satisfy celebrities and the rich, the famous, and politicians and whoever else he had to. And then he just drops dead in jail. Oh no, that's it. And you're just supposed to take that bullshit. No, there was nothing wrong with him. He shouldn't have been dropped dead in jail. He didn't commit suicide because the guys, these rich cunt, they're pussies. They don't commit suicide. They're pussies. Right? The last thing a rich person wants to do is die and leave his money. The way you hurt a rich person is you take their money. Right? No, there was nothing wrong with that guy. He was murdered. They even got the footage of that bloody person coming in and out. You can't see who they are. They got that there, but they don't show you the rest. They got the whole footage, guys. They got the whole footage. But they're only going to show you what they want to show you. Oh, no, he committed suicide. Bullshit. Bullshit, guys. Come on, guys. I mean, if he... Why was the Prince of England brought up? And then he got away with that one. Why? The Queen ring up, oh, don't do my little boy. I want him back at the palace with me so he can count his 72 teddies he's got sitting on his bed. Like a child. And I can keep serving up them young ones that he likes. Because we're a cannibalistic family. And I have to save my cannibalistic son. Because he likes to bleed those young ones. I don't got no shame. Royal family is a cannibalistic family. They eat humans. They eat all types of magical things to gain the magic. When you've got someone with billions of dollars in the bank and the amount of money that royal family has, you don't get around with blackened gum teeth. Right? That's a sign that you eat human flesh. They don't brush their teeth with fucking charcoal mix. Right? They are cannibals. I'm telling you right now. When the world finds out that there, you string them up. Like my father said, these things in my pocket, if I was ever to give it to that Satan family, because that's what they are. All the men have to get their legs broken and skin taken off their knees and their hands. And they've got to crawl on their hands and knees across 200 meters of broken glass bottles and used needles. And then they get to all their treasure, all their gold, all the royal families, all the gold, all the jewels, pluck out every statue, every foot they fucking got, pile it all up, and get that crown there that signifies who is going to be the king or the queen. Chop that up into 1,000 bits. Spread it all through the Jews. The whole lot has to be eaten. They have to crawl across that. All the men, just before they get there, you got to kick all their teeth out, so they got no teeth. And then they can eat all those Jews. And the first one that shits out and reconstitutes a brand new fucking crown, I'll give these stones to. And they can kill off Earth if they want to. Because anyone that can shit out a brand new fucking crown, it's got to be pretty good. I can't do that, so that's the price. My mom said, oh, well, there's another price you could get, Splinter. And that's my father's nickname. You could ask them for a diamond, a flawless diamond the size of the moon. Eh? Try and find one of them before you get these stones. Yes, I'll flaunt them. I'll tell him I got him. I'll tell people I got him. I'll tell people I got this most dangerous thing that's more dangerous than any nuclear arsenal on the planet. And it really is in my pocket. Average Joe. So if I want to snap, I can really take some snapping. In its current form, with its soul, because there's a dormant bit of life. It's kind of dead, but it's got a soul. It doesn't come from Earth. It's from outer space. It's the harvester, the full stop on all life. Its current form, its current shape. Kill 3 billion people. Make everyone else on the planet sick. But 3 billion will go. That's the third that need to be slipped off in the Bible. This is the Bible stone, the full stop that actually does that. In my pocket right now. The only reason why it's in my pocket, because God is in control of life and death. If God was not in control of life and death, the game would be over. Satan would have already won, because you would all be unalive straight away. That's his whole plan. So then he can reshape life in his own image. The only way he can do that is he has to get this stone. He gets man to help him when they crack it open. They'll animate that bit of life in there, because we're good at that. And then you'll have a pathogen to wake up the beast from the abyss. You'll have a pathogen that will kill all molecules and microbes of any semblance of life. This planet become barren and nothing. If man gets hold of this stone and animates that alien life, the harvester, that's it. Then the only thing that's going to be running around that's going to live, because it's immortal, except for one little thing, is Pale Horse Ninja. The only human that can live is the one that drinks the blood of Christ, which he was squeezed out of that little cross, little part of the original cross that he got given by the Pope. Because that blood of Christ heals all. Okay? And then he uses the spearhead, which is the last stone, Mother Nature, what she wrote the story with. Anyway, the spearhead where you see King George killing that dragon. That's it. Put that spearhead through that last bit of life, that is it. Life as we know it, created by God, is now over. The only part of that that exists to God is Lucifer himself, if he's the one that does it, because he wants to be. And he can rewrite life in his own image, like his father. And that's it. Whether you like to believe so or not, that's it. Satan doesn't need nuclear weapons or guns to kill mankind. Neither does God. Mankind needs that to keep you under control. Mankind also has a hand in this game. Right? Some men have worked out they don't have to work for Satan. They could just be evil men and try to get for themselves. Such as Trump. I don't believe he's hooked up to the Satan type group. I believe he knows them, shakes hands with them, but he's his own tyrant. They're evil men. They're ones that signed up with Satan. There are some that are their own sect, their own beliefs. And there's all types of things happening. As long as they keep you blind to the situation, you won't know what's happening. And perhaps it's best some people don't know what's happening, because some people's minds cannot handle it. Perhaps it's best for them to stick to this narrative for now. Stay in their nice little cubed up matrix. Education is for all, but not everyone can handle the higher levels of education. The mind might do a flip. Some people can handle it. Some people can't work it out at all. Some people, if they become too knowledgeable, go crazy. It can have the opposite effect of being knowledgeable. Because if you know too much, you might send yourself crazy. You might miss out on half the life that you could have had. David Attenborough says it best. Homer Simpson, I like him. He's a bit of a bodacious fellow. I sit back and watch him with my grandchildren. Because he's so dim, he doesn't think of the consequence. So he has so many fun and enjoyable adventures. Whereas someone like me, he reckons, will go, I wouldn't do that. Or I wouldn't do that. Or I wouldn't do that, because he's too educated. He knows that that will hurt you. Possibility of getting that destroyed or losing your money. But Homer, having a carefree mind, of being so smart, goes and enjoys himself. And just because he's just lucky, he gets what he wants. And you'll find that out in this world. That's what happens. You look down the street, look at someone that smokes a packet of cigarettes every day, a packet of 40s every day, drinks like a fish, never really worked, seems to have money all the fucking time, all the best friends, all the best girlfriends, all that going for him. And then you work really hard, do all the right things, don't smoke, and you're dead by 50. And they're still kicking on, smoking, drinking, partying on. And then the church will tell you otherwise. Health mob will tell you otherwise. The government will tell you otherwise. When you're at school, they tell you otherwise. Got to work for a living, got to work for a living. Well, hang on a sec. How come numbnuts down the road, he is just partying up and work a day in his life? He got more than what I got. Doesn't seem to work sometimes. And how I see these young ones getting around, well, we're going to have a world of debt. World of debt, guys. With these young ones, I see them getting around on all these latest scooters and the latest gear, and none of them even know what a day of work is. And I know their parents ain't rich to be able to keep funding them the money. That's the online bullshit. So you get all this scamming online. It's quite spun out, that. It's quite spun out. Scamming online, yeah. Trolls. They can police it. They just choose not to. Because they make money from it. It's like when I come on the internet, they used to say, oh, the internet is 1% internet, 99% porn. There's still that, you know. What we do here and what all the good stuff, that's about 1%. 99% of the bloody servers that run the internet are full of porn, are full of your OnlyFans sites, and that's disgusting. Because now I'm seeing a very, very, very bad trend for the last couple of years. It's been happening for a while, but really going stupid. The moment these girls get age that they can get onto that, they're straight out doing it. Right? What the hell? Are we becoming a sexual depraved world like that? Are we really going to be like that? Are we going to install that that's the best way to do things? The easy, seductive, twisted sexual way. Or whatever way, like that. Exhibitionism. For what? When you could have gone out and actually worked hard. And then they got all this right. I can be what I want. I can do. Run all this bloody narrative. I'm rich. Come on. Really? They can be policed. You just stop it. Ban it. Banned. Banned. No problem then. Anyone wants to do that shit on it, they get banned. They get arrested. Charged. OnlyFans can be stopped. They stop it like that. But as long as they keep making tax off it. How much tax gets paid? How much tax? Like you just keep getting these donations, guys. That's not going to last forever. You're going to have to get on top of that one. And when I warn you right now, you can give all your apps, you can give all your private accounts, and say, yes, donation, donation. When the governments look at that, they say, well, fuck me. That's tax money we could be having. The banks look at that and they go, gee, that seems just money we could be having. And then the banks and talk to the government, and then you'll find that all stopped. You'll find everything that you get given, right? Unless you are a proper help organization that's been registered, You will not be able to collect money like that. They will tax you. They'll do you like they do on YouTube. They'll tax you a certain amount and give you a cut. They see that there, they want every cent. That's tax money that you're getting, and they're not getting. So they'll crack down on that. Believe you me. Believe you me. Right? Believe you me. You're going to get donated money. It's going to have to be for a good reason. It can't be just for yourself. Because if it's just for yourself, well, why aren't you on GoFundMe? That's another one. Needs to be stopped. Huh? What? Stop the help. Stop the money. Yes, that's right. Stop the help. Stop the money. All these apps that you use, all these things that you go through, why do you think they're allowed to function? Because the government makes tax from it, and someone makes a cut from it. Right? That's the only reason why they exist. Look at GoFundMe. What's that? We take a certain amount of percentage of whatever you get. Oh, yeah, okay. Helping themselves, guys, not helping you. And as people say, well, not money, and bullshit. Why favor that blonde, pretty girl because she's got cancer, but the brunette girl because she's got a little bit of a wart on her face? The same deal. You won't give her nothing? When did life determine on that? And then you get people that get on there and not even sick at all. They're hundreds of thousands of dollars, not even sick, poshy looking blonde chick. Nothing wrong with her. Had a rich family. Oh yes, oh yes. Nothing, not even charged. Found out that it doesn't even get cancer. Still allowed to keep all that money. Yet Kelly, my missus, who had the cancer, tries to go on that to try and get some money for us so we could try a new trial instead of spending the last 50,000 that I had. We ended up spending that 50,000. The trial did no good. It's too aggressive. Simple as that. And we tried to get help. What did they say? No, we don't even believe you got cancer. We had all the evidence. We had all the proper medical bills, all the proper medical stuff to prove it. Yet how do these really pretty blonde ones, these really pretty girls, get on and get all that money with all this fake shit? So they determine on what you look like. Seriously. If you're a real soft case, they'll have you on that. Hey, yeah, no worries, because we make our cut straight. I don't give a fuck about you and your message and what to come in on. They care about their cut. They were truly generous, truly people of God, truly trying to help. They would take no cut at all except what is enough to run that server. Well, you can still make a bit of penny. You register yourself as a proper help organization. You become tax write-off. Oh yeah, so it's worthy to do this. Become a tax write-off, so you don't have to pay tax. And 85% of what you take in, you can spend to yourself. As long as you put 15% of what you're supposed to be, collecting money for, you're totally legal. And that's the only way you're going to get around this donation shit. Because they're going to crack that down, guys. There's only one country I know that has a law that says you can't be taxed on donations. Canada. America, you get taxed on donations. You should be taxed on donations. They got a law that states that. Same in Australia. So much you get taxed on inheritance, especially in American inheritance, donations. You don't in Canada. I done my research there. Oh yeah. So you remember that. They'll crack down on that, guys. They will crack down on it. Or they'll say you're soliciting. You cannot advertise on YouTube or your own account or anything like that for donations because we class that as soliciting. And YouTube, unless you actually get a permit and are a proper solicitor, we're not going to allow you to do that. So they'll find a way, guys. They'll find a way to stop you to get that tax money for themselves, those donations. Because you think about it, all the people that do that over the internet, everyone does it. But their own little cash app. Send me the money, send me the money. Oh, I can dodge this one, I got to dodge that one. Well, you're not going to dodge them for too long because they're watching that. That's their money. They're thinking, oh, that's my tax money. They want that money that you give you $5 to your kids to go to school with. They want the tax from that. Oh, thank you, kid. That's $5. That's 90 cents for us. Then you got 20%, 20 cents GST. So there you go. There's $3.90 back. That's what I want to do. That's lawn mowing job you do for your grandmother. When you go and get your $50, that's $35 now because the government's going to take its cut. When you have that garage sale and you want to make that extra $200 to buy that air conditioning unit or a new microwave or something, even for fuel, or to buy a new PlayStation for the kids, they'll come up and say, oh, you made $200, you made over $100, that's now taxable income. What we're going to do there is we're going to take this away. You go, here's your $160 back, we'll take out $40 tax. Your garage sale is money they're missing out on. That's why they want to make it all digital, guys. Never make this world digital money, or they'll have us screwed. Really have us screwed then. We have to do everything they say then, or they'll just shut the money off, shut the bank down, turn the power off, control you just like that. Do not get rid of cash money. If power goes out, we'll still be able to function with cash money. People know how to add up. People know how to take away. That's the basics that we need. Basics you need, add up and take away. In money and in weighing things. Money, weighing things, and leaders are the same thing. Right? So it'll be easy to do that. If you have a cashless society, I'll switch the power off myself. That's the promise, guys. You decide to vote cashless, I will turn into the biggest terrorist that you ever see. I will analyze 3 billion people without even thinking a thought about it. Right? I will do that. Put it on like a necklace, and that's it. Just start walking around, knocking them all off. Collateral damage, don't care who it is. Right? And then I will go to all these power stations and all that, and I'll wipe them out. I'll shut this country down. It's very easy. Do Australia, and then people will follow suit with that one. They'll see what I'm doing. They'll see this anonymous mask, star, character. That's like anonymous. It talks about all those things, countless true things. The governments want to catch you, him, a whole group of them. Oh, that's right. Anonymous. Did you ever figure that one, why the mask is on? How do you know they have not contacted me? I know they watch me. They haven't quite contacted me yet, but I know they watch me. I interest them. I'm like them. I have information that the world doesn't know, that they keep from you. And they would have gone in their little things and done a check and said, oh shit, he's really real. Yes, I'm really real. I wouldn't keep reposting that bloody letter I got from the government if it wasn't really real. If I wasn't really real, the government wouldn't even send me that letter. Why I wasn't really real? Why I wasn't really chasing the pale horse, which is really a 9-ton fucking dragon that is a male and a female all in one, and births up drones, and America's been stealing them and selling off? Oh, then I would have been locked up a long time ago as mad. But I'm not. Right? Crazy. It's like Jack. She got given a Freedom Fighter Award, given by an admiral. That means not given by Trump. It means like given by people that actually fight for freedom. It means technically, when it comes to righteousness and freedom, Jaguar is on a level way above Trump. because he's been given the Freedom Fighter Award. I bet you Trump was lying up there thinking, gee, I wonder if I'm going to get one. Nope. And it wasn't him giving out the orders. He wasn't even giving them out either. Why? Because he's not the one to be trusted in the government. That admiral was. Have more faith in that admiral. He's got his finger on the button too, you know. You know, that new FBI guy, leader of the FBI, he's good. He's part of the good side, that one. Long time since they've had someone on the good side running the FBI. But he's still bound to doing certain things because there's factions in the FBI too, you know. That's the thing. It's not just the body that runs because you think it's supposed to run like a police office, you know, or a clerk. There are factions inside there. And in America, when you get given levels of power, like sergeants, generals, you get certain levels of autonomy. How to weigh that power, how to use that power. Generals are in charge of their own battalions, not the American, not the government. The general is in charge of that battalion. The general can decide to have a coup against the government. The general orders that battalion run. We don't. We can ask the general, we put an order in that battalion's got to go to war. But he's at his own discretion on how he runs that war. Because he is a general. He's got probably higher clearance than any of them. Hillary Clinton's got higher clearance. She's got higher clearance than Biden and Trump put together. Did you know that? Trump can't walk into Area 51. Hillary Clinton can. It's all about clearance, guys. Not about fucking the job. Not about the president or the prime minister. It's about clearance. What level of clearance are you? What level of clearance are they? They can't walk in Area 51. They've got to get a special permission for that from the admiral. And there you go. And that's a fact. That's how the world runs. Those politicians, they're just front men for the real people that run the country, which are your militaries. They got the guns, they got the juice. That's who protects your borders and keeps you locked up in safe. The militaries. They run your country. Each military part, your military, your Air Force, and your Navy, have all got rights to they see your government misbehaving, they can quit. Go in, coup, take over. Right? It's about clearance. When you're made a general, you got more clearance than a prime minister. Okay? He might be privy to the information, the prime minister, but he's not allowed to go into the area. Our prime minister cannot walk into Pine Gap, which is an American facility near Alice Springs. You know? Can't walk in there. If you think he would, at the top job, main man, can't walk into there. You got to ask America for that permission. You know? America paid 2 almonds for that. They said, well, what did you pay for the land now? And they come over and drop 2 almonds. There you go. That's how much we owe you. Because they got that land, we still had given the Aboriginals their rights, see? They played that one against us again. Oh, well, that's all we owe you. Otherwise, we won't back you up in the UN. Your country will become sanctioned. Because you don't deal with the indigenous, don't deal with the Aboriginal people properly. Again. So our government gets away with it again. They'll actually put up to what we had, the policies of the UN. Australia wouldn't get as much imports as we do. They have a lot of sanctions. We'll have a lot of sanctions in this country. We'll be like North Korea. We'll have fuck all coming in. Right? They actually followed their rules. The way you deal with people in your country, you deal with people in a segregated way, in a comfortable way, they will stop shit coming to your country. It's called sanctions. Right? They do it to the North Korean guy. They should have done it to here in Australia. They should still be doing it now. The way America runs the thing, that should be sanctioned too. But they make sure, oh, we got the guns, we got the bombs, our dollar's the best, we won't get sanctioned. You sanction us, we'll take you to World War III. No shit, guys. You want to send America to World War III? Sanction all its imports. Just like Trump put on a tariff. Well, we'll charge them 8 times the amount to send it to America. Then we'll see how America functions then. You won't. You go straight to war. That's a fact. All the countries now said, nah, fuck America. We're sick of you running your bullshit. Sick of you running your dollar. Sick of you trying to run the world. Sick of you trying to say you're the best and the biggest and the wealthiest. Well, we're not sending you nothing unless you pay 8 times the amount. You watch America go take the world to war. The 3 locks to unlock this world, to make it free, is not in the Holy Land, is not in the Scriptures, is not with God or Jesus. It lies within America. 3 locks. We unlock these 3 locks, we free the world. The internet, that's locked up by America. The wars, that's locked up by America. The dollar, that's locked up by America. You unleash those 3, you have a free world. America is a good country. I do like America. I really do. A lot of people there, I really like as friends. Starting to love some of them. They're good. But the way that government's set up, the way they've got you all blinded to what you're actually doing, come on now. You're the bully of the world. Every country out there, when they talk about America, they talk America as the bully. As the big troll. Oh, here comes America, bullying us around again with their power. Oh, we got to do what America said because they're bullying us. You're a bully on the block, guys. You go on about the Asians, now you're picking on fucking racists. Oh, China does this, China does it, China does it. No, you're jealous that China's running the country like you want to run your country. But you got your bullshit fucking going on with this fake democracy, which is the matrix. The fake belief that what we're living in here is a free world and democracy when it's really corrupt, evil, and sick and twisted. All for what? Money? For them to get money. For them to get money. Something that's not worth fuck all. Something that you cannot personally own. Because it's always the property of the government. Always the property of the government. It doesn't matter how much money you got. If the government says, oh, well, fuck it, that's our money, give it back. Technically it is, because that's their money. They'll charge you for holding their money, illegally holding our money. That money is written in the Constitution that belongs to us. But they earned it, I don't care. We're going to fucking do this policy now. We're just going to take everything off everybody. Because we can, because that's our money, that's the law. So they want to march in and start taking your money, well, you can't really stop them. Technically, they get you in that law and they take all your money from you. But you can't. Yes, they can. It belongs to the government. It's not your money. What have you got it for? The government's got it written off in their very constitution that that money belongs to them. See, they can pull that one too, you know, guys, any day of the week. You know? You think, oh, that's a bit far-fetched, but I guarantee you, there's no far-fetched than some of the things that we've been seeing come out lately. Really? I'll tell you what's far-fetched. What's far-fetched? When we have a world that follows a narrative that is false, because there's no science or any backing behind it other than someone's belief or someone's twisted sexual fantasy. When did this world start accepting psychos, playing out psychos, right? That dress in a little pink boot tube, big fat British man from England, hair everywhere, no shave, wearing a little pink boot tube, little G-string, puts a little bit of white makeup on his face. You have to now signify me as a South Korean non-binary girl. And we're supposed to fucking accept that. And in America, well, in England, if you don't accept that, and you say something bad to him on social media, you get locked up. That's woke. That's your woke thinking. Now you tell me, is that right? Or is that wrong? Because it is totally wrong. He is not a South Korean non-binary. Nothing in this world is non-binary. I'm sick of that where I'm the next person that tells me I'm a non-binary, well then I'm going to cut them straight in half. Straight in half. Get a sword, go smack. If they're non-binary, they should be quite fine. They should be able to generate two brand new entities. It's because they should be able to breed with themselves. If it was non-binary, it wouldn't fucking exist. Wouldn't be able to go on. Wouldn't have been able to be born. Unless it splits in half and breeds with itself. Non-binary is still asexual. It means it breeds with itself by splitting down a hubris. Splitting in half. Those two halves become two wholes. I guarantee you get these dickheads that call themselves non-binary, cut them in fucking half. They won't do be none. They'll be dead. They're not non-binary at all. You put them in a sea container. Can they breed? No. You put the order configurations of your sexualities in a sea container. There's only one that's going to breed. There's only one that has the potential in 10 months' time to come out with a new life. It's not the two men. It's not the two girls. It's not the woman with the chandelier or the bloke that wants to have the kid. It's with the man and the woman. That configuration is the only one that in 9 months or 10 months' time you put them in the sea container challenge to see what actually is a sexuality. Because a sexuality is something that procreates. It's not just for fucking lust and for fucking, fucking believe me, Lord. That's lust. It's not love. It's not love. That's fucking lust. Get your fucking head out of the lustness, you sinners. Look at the configuration with the fucking sea container challenge. I challenge this world. If your sexuality is real, then you should be able to breed. You should be able to procreate your type of sexuality to the next fucking generation. Otherwise, you're not anything. You're a psycho. That's the plain, don't give a fuck what you think about narrative. Don't give a fuck about what countries was it. Don't care about you woke. I care about the truth of science, medical industry, and having a basis thing that we can work off. Because if you work off that, that's chaotic. That's just believing whatever any cunt's got in their own little chocolate starfish, and we don't know what the fuck's going on in there. So we can't accept everyone. We can accept people who are gay. We can accept people who are lesbian. We can't accept all the rest of this bullshit that's going on. These ones that cut bits off, add bits on, that's mutilation. Self-mutilation. Don't give a fuck what you think. That's the facts. I'm not going to run this narrative. It doesn't follow your narrative. Too bad. Stop talking shit. Stop trying to spread your lies. Get with the science and the medical. Science and the medical says that you're a fucking mental case that likes chopping bits off or adding bits on. Saying something that you're not. You know, my father said they are sexual beings, Michael. I feel very sorry for them. I really do. Because they'll never see this. They'll never fucking have it. But they got to think to themselves every fucking morning. So I was very sorry for them because there's nothing in this world that can make them change the way they want to really be. Maybe one day, far, far in the future, we might be able to change the XY gene to XX gene or back and forth. But until we can't do that, we can't do fucking anything except surgically manipulate some cunt in a mutated way. That's all it is. The woman that cuts her breasts off and calls herself a man has just cut her fucking breasts off and mutilated herself. A man that gets his dick cut off and gets it tucked in and out and turned into a part is just fucking mutilating himself. Self-mutilation. And then you've got these dickheads that plastic surgery, reads gender assigners, that know that it's exactly what it is. No, it's not going to benefit them anyway. It's just a prosthetic thing to make it look like it does. A fake. If you're really born that way, you wouldn't have to go through all that medical procedure to become that way. You'd be born that way. But we're not born any sexuality. We're born with sexual organs. But we're not born with anything in here. Concept about sexuality. Now humanity has gone so fucking sick. You've got 5-year-olds coming out saying they're transgender. How does he even know what sex is? How the fuck does he even know that? Who's teaching that kid that sick shit? And then you got these woke saying, well, we've got to teach. No, you don't have to teach them how to be gay. You don't have to force them how to be a lesbian. You don't have to force them to be transgender or queer. They can work that out all on their fucking own. Sexuality between boys and girls is not pushed into school until they're fucking at least the age of 13, where you learn about, when you play with your slug in bed at night, or when a woman has their fucking period. It's when you start to be developed when you're 13, when you've got a brain to start out and fucking work out, because you're going through that. It's called puberty. You're going through the change of life. Before puberty, no kid should know what the fuck sex is. And anyone that keeps propagating that should be beat the shit out of in the street until their brains pop out, and that's it. We don't even give them a burial. Fuck them. Leave them there to rot. That type of thinking is finished. Get rid of it. We can have all these things that we all enjoy, but you don't need that type of thinking. That type of thinking, what it has done, like I said, has brought you a pedophile. You're pedophiles, not the chomos, the real name. Pedophiles, because that's what they're called. That's the crime that they commit, which hurts and sexually assaults children. These are words that YouTube are trying to block us from. Why? They're real words that make the real connections to a real crime. YouTube is the biggest platform where children and adults watch alike worldwide to get information. If they can't have the proper words to say that's a pedophile because he rapes children sexually, freely like I just have, the kid will not make the connection. You've got to explain, oh, that's a chomo, and he did something to that children. Well, what's a chomo? So you've got to explain what the fuck a chomo is. When you say a pedophile, kids are like red light, green light. You say that word, they've heard that in the schoolyard. They know what that word means. That means connection to badness. What's chomo? Chomo sounds like it's a fucking clown at a circus. It's SA or D-rugs. Drugs. Pharmaceuticals sell drugs around the world all the time. Why can't we say heroin and marijuana are drugs, which they are? Why can we not use these connections? Why does YouTube ban us from using these connection words? They say, oh, it's policing, so the children don't. Well, if the children don't know how they're ever going to face the evil, if they can't place the evil with the right words. If you're not going to teach them YouTube, I got no shame of telling YouTube straight off. I'll say those words all day. Pedophile, pedophile, pedophile. Child sex molester. Sexual assault, rapist. What are you going to do? Stop me from saying words that we've invented to say and place these crimes, to place this evil? You want me to change it? We say Chamo, S.A., D-rugs. Sound like a fucking slow learner. Right? Sound like an idiot. It's called babble. YouTube wants us to speak babble to the children. So they've got no idea what we're talking about. No idea. Those ice cream vans getting around. That's a bunch of pedophiles stealing kids at night in Virginia. It's been going on for years. In fact, Virginia worldwide, is the biggest stealing of kids, biggest disappearance of kids in the world is in Virginia. In fact, the biggest place where you want to go missing in America, go to Virginia. You'll go missing very quickly. Run by pedophile rings, sexual assaulters, running rampantly free in your country. Police not doing nothing. Letting it happen. You know, you get that flood down north where you had the floods down Texas. Why did all these 11-year-old and under girls go missing? Presumed drowned. Oh, fucking sway, the girls went missing. What happened to those girls? Didn't even find the bodies. You know, America takes 22,000 orphans out of Ukraine. They got on the plane. No one knows where they got off. The plane went up in the sky. It has yet to come down since. That was about 3 years ago. Okay, so what happened to all those kids? What happened to all those kids? 22,000. Gone. Never landed again. Never seen of again. Never seen of again. You got that tyrant, that Assad tyrant. A known rapist of children. A known sexual assaulter of children. A known tyrant. Even his own country kicked him out. They're coming across the body pits now, where he was genociding his own people. Yet, England, America, all these assholes around the world, the leaders, they want him back in. They want him to lead because they was used to him selling them their children. They're all fucking corrupt. You know, Trump gets into office. What do you want, Mr. Trump? You want a little 3D boy, or you want a girl, or you want whatever you want? We'll murder this one for you. We'll murder that one for you. We got it in the bag. Why do you say that there? So, well, Biden, he got those two young girls straight away. He even got his granddaughter in there, the one he was ogling all over when he won the thing. He fucked the shit out of them. Then he got away with bloody having showers with his daughter, and what does he excuse that? Oh, I'm going to sleep. Oh, my daughter was sexually active, so she needed me to go and teach her things. And that's all right with America. Well, obviously it is, because you got the pimping awards. Pimping's a big fucking funny thing in America. That's the classic thing. No? So endemic in that, even the great Cat Williams, the one that brought Order to the Seats, he talked about pimping. I was the pimp in that show. I was the one that come up with the Money Mike Pimp fucking deal, all didn't I? So who gives a fuck? You were selling women off for sexing. That was basically a pimp is fucking bludger. Want to make money off of women. That's a sexual thing. Those pimps are the ones that take you into the industry, that do the industry where they steal women, sexual trade, not even just women, blokes as well. So pimping, when you get that idea of pimping out your fucking heads as some sort of fantastic thing, then you might start turning around America. When you start getting gangster out of your fucking head like it's some sort of fucking big thing, because all you're doing is promoting crime, fabulizing and fantasticizing crime. That's all you're doing. Every show I see about it, pimps always punching the piss out of these women. They're always getting not as much as they should do. And how does he keep them dependent? By feeding them drugs. Suppose that OnlyFans is one way to get away with it. But even that's wrong. See how depraved this world is? See how sexually depraved the world is. The holy city is called the holy city because you got the best sexitarians in the world in Jerusalem. That's why it's called the holy city. You can fill any hole you want in there for a price. Crazy. 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 No, crazy. That's a sexually depraved world. You got all this happening. All these kids going missing freely. Government's freely doing what they want. Giving back lists of people that we clearly see are being caught, being fucking functionating, giving little girls to rich men. And come on, guys. The Prince of England there, he got fingered out straight away. The woman pointed him out. Oh, no. But what? They bypassed that little fucking thing. He didn't get charged. Oh, that's it, They can get away with that. If it was me and you, they'll lock us away for 1,000,000 years. Put us all over the news as some crazy fuck that likes to touch kids. No, but he's still the prince. They took that right out. Oh, no. He just sleeps in the bed with 72 titties and he gets young girls in all the time. But that's okay. He's allowed to do that. He's the prince. He's from that cannibalistic family that's playing Satan. Oh, it happens he is. How about that? You want to know who Satan is, guys? He walks among you now. His name is Prince William, the king's son. He wants to dispose the Father off the throne, just like Lucifer wants to dispose God off the throne. So they're playing that here on earth. Now the Father, he thinks he's the devil. That's why he got himself painted in that big red painting when he became king. Oh yes, this is what they're playing, guys. This is really what they're playing. Right? They are sadistic. They are cannibals. Simple as that. I could tell you what he'd done, what Lucifer had done to his wife while she had to be away. It wasn't cancer that she decided. No. He's got a ritualistic thing where he ties a blade to himself and he fucks her with a blade. That's what he done inside to his own wife. That's why that Meghan Markle walked away from that. I can't be a part of this cannibalisticness. But she signed a policy to shut their mouth about it. Why do you think she walked away? Ask her personally, why did you think you walked away? It's got nothing to do with the regalness and doing what you're told and having set ceremonies and being subject to certain things because you are royal. No, she shat the pants when she found out that they were cannibals. Fact. I like them to come true. Come on, let's go. Let's go and test all their bits of shit. Let's go and test their intestines. Let's test their skin. Let's test their DNA. Let's test their teeth. Because they can't hide the evidence that they eat humans. Because that DNA pattern will be in them, on them, around them. Right? I guarantee you, you go and take a scraping out of their shit, you'll find out there's a certain amount of human flesh in it, and it's not their own. When the world starts working out that your governments in control are corrupt and evil, doesn't matter who is in charge, right? 2 American presidents in American's history were the only ones that weren't related to a bloodline of King George. So when you've got fucking Biden and Trump and Kamala, otherwise she would have been able to run it all. She must have bloodline too. Oh, that's Maxwell the cat. Maxwell, shut up. No, he's meowing. Must be midnight. Or 1 o'clock. Maxwell. But that's true. Every president in America, bar 2, have a direct bloodline connection to King George of England. The one that's on there with a spear, the Dragon Slayer. King Prince Willem, he got himself a painting like he is King George, killing the same type of white lizard, but it fucking looks like a white bunga idea. I offered the King of England himself, when he come to Australia, come and meet me at the Menzies Desert, old man. Let's have our chat. And he didn't want to come. He didn't come to WA at all. WA is the money that they get from Australia, comes from WA. That golden charity runs around it, that's from Kalgoorlie gold mines. Gold's from Perth Mint. We donated that one to him. Right, that's my father's gold. My father done the twist for Princess Margaret, the Queen's sister, in the Menzies Hall when he was a little boy. Princess Margaret had never seen such a thing before. What's this that they're doing? That's the twist, man. Bring me those children here. Now they were told to come near this woman. They were to bow because she's a very important woman by the police officer in town. And the old man walked up there and he went to go and bow. And she said, no. And she got off her seat. And she bowed down to my father, Princess Margaret. It's I who was bowing to you, little king. Our family's had a connection ever since. Right? So you don't have to tell me about that royal family one. They know who rightfully owns this country. They know who rightfully is gold that they have. They know that I know what they are. The King of England knows. I know who he is and his son. But he won't come here, not while that pale horse is still running around. Oh no, he shits from that. That old man couldn't get his ass up on it anyway, so it has to be the son. But I'm not sure. Maybe the father is setting the son up. Son wants to get on that thing and ride it. Yes, he does. Surely does. But it's the father that has the blood of Christ. Keep himself alive. Forever. So I wonder what's going on between those two. Serious. There's your Lucifer. Look at the Bible. He will have dominion over a third of the world. England has dominion over a third of the world. No? Prince William, Matt. That's your Lucifer. In the flesh. In the flesh. Go ahead. Try to say that he's not. Try to come at me. Try to sanction me. Try to ban me. Try to prove I'm wrong. Because I'm not. I expose you now, Satan. Prince William of England. I'll be waiting for you in the desert, boy. And so will Nunjan. That's a fact. And you can come with all your fucking hell's army. Because I'll be waiting for you. I am not frightened of him. Not in the slightest. No, not in the slightest. I have a plan for that man. And it's going to happen. And he really is. He really is. Prove it. Tell them to get DNA tested. Tell them to get all their feces tested. You'll find the human flesh. Tell them to get tested. You'll find it in them. Okay? That's a fact. There's your evil. America, to be totally legal by rule of cell, has to have a descendant from that throne. That's why most of your politicians are all related. I know for a fact Hillary and Trump are cousins 3 times removed. So I wonder what Biden and Trump are to each other. That's probably Uncle Biden. That's nephew Trump. Technically. What's that? That's Auntie Kamala. It's a family affair, guys. They often say, we don't need the American voter at all. They're inconsequential to the process. We just leave it open to make them feel like they're doing fucking something. That way we keep the wool blinded over eyes, but we already got elected who was going to be elected. So it means that even that black man, Biden, or Obama, he must have had a bloodline connection too. He would have never been allowed to be the president. Strange that they let a black man in the White House. Why is it called the White House? It's not the Black House, the Pink House, the Blue House, or the Red House. The White House. Where the biggest white parties happen. To state the fact, guys. To state the fact. State the fact. Why is Canberra shaped like a fucking pentagram? Why is the new Parliament building in Canberra shaped like the best bomb bunker you got to stop those bomb bunker busters? How do you stop a bomb bunker buster? Put a 30-foot pole of fucking titanium over the bloody entrance hole so it can't get in. No matter which way it comes from. Because it won't be able to penetrate the ground up to 200 meters, but it won't be able to get through a certain configuration of cement. Regardless. They know how to get around that one from the side. So they've got to come in an entrance. Got to come in a soft spot. A soft spot with those bunker busters. Usually it's the entrance. The door is the softest spot on the bunker. Well, Australian bunker in the Parliament House is directly under that big giant 50-foot titanium pole which holds the Australian flag on. So we got 20 more foot. Than what that bunker buster could never go through. So unless that bunker buster can come dead eye straight down, hit the top of that bloody titanium pole and press all the way through it, which it can't, it will never get into the bunker they got under that place. There you go. That's a hill. It's risen up on a hill, like a hill kind of thing. Do you think they bring dirt in to build that? No. More dirt was taken out of there than possibly fucking imaginable, because they were digging great tunnels. You look under it, bunker under Canberra. And we'll even find out where it's got a full-length car. It could take you about 5 to 6 days out the city. One of the entrances are. You know? They care about themselves. They care about you. There's no bloody civil shelters in case a bomb fucking war comes or chemicals come. They got nothing for us. Got it all for them. Like those men of God in the church. What have they got? All that fine cashmere gear, top wine, best gold, best entertainment, best of everything. Why? How does that make them closer to God? Why are those so-called men of God? What have they actually done? Nothing. Nothing to deserve any of that. Or did they men of God, they've been out to pit? No, they fucking haven't. Right? They've been revenue collecting. They're revenue collectors. Sit back there and they talk out like if there was clear-cut one belief and one religion and there wasn't factions, why do they have even a voting system to begin with in the Vatican when it comes to the Pope? Why do they have that to begin with? Because there's factions. It's like in the FBI. Why do they have to have a choose who's going to be the boss? Because there's factions. CIA shouldn't even function the way it fucking does with all the bloody powers it uses because it should have no powers at all by your constitution. But it fucking does. It's got more bloody stealth fighters and bloody shit than fucking America's got in its arsenal. Tell them to sell off all them. Here's your deficit paid. How much do you owe America? $1 trillion? Sell off them, that's $500 billion. CIA doesn't need them. Why has the CIA got them for? They're not supposed to have powers of seizure. What they got the most technologized stealth bombers for? Why have they got that? What do they need that for? How is that going to help them spy and know anything about some country? I reckon spying on another country is an arsehole's trick anyways. That's a dog's trick. If I caught you spying on my country, I'd blow you clean up. Wouldn't care who you was. That's what happens. That's what I don't tell you. When they fly in with these things, they get into all these other countries, going into airspace they're not supposed to be in. So that's an organization that's got to collect information, but they're allowed to run in a criminalistic way against international law, against all the fucking laws, and break them all just to get the information. They say, oh, look, they're bad guys. Really? I personally reckon you should just actually go, right, CIA no longer exists. We're gonna write you out. You're not even part of our constitution anyway, so I don't know why you're fucking existing. So let's just fuck you off. No longer gonna fund anything the CIA has. CIA is not even gonna be invented. You want to be fucking CIA? You're now the FBI. You got to work for them. CIA branch completely shut down. Can't be trusted. They're more about getting information on their own people than what they was totally designed to do. They are corrupt. They've got to do all that bloody torturing in Guantanamo Bay, all this corruption, all this fucking money, all this drugs, all those drug dealers down in the fucking South America. They're run by fucking CIA. Okay? Biggest drug dealers in the world are CIA. So while you've got that as a legal entity running in America, you're responsible for the drugs on the planet. Solely responsible for all the moving of every single bit of drug on the whole fucking earth, America. As long as you keep that CIA in any form of government, any form of fucking office, any form of anything. I don't give a fuck whether they got Area 51, all these black projects, all these hidden fucking alien bases and shit, all this money they keep funneling from you when it could be going onto your shelves and paying off your fucking deficit. Billions of dollars getting funneled for what? For a black project that they don't even know about, that probably doesn't even exist? Fuck off. CIA, ban them. Ban them. Increase your wealth, America. Fuck the CIA off. What have they done for you? Has the CIA done anything personally for you? What has it done for you? That body that you have existing there. That has no policing powers, no powers of arrest, not even supposed to carry a gun. What they're supposed to do is collect information like a reporter going around with a notepad. That's it. So how the fuck did they get stealth bombers and all this shit? How have you allowed them to get so big that they're more powerful than the fucking military? How is that happening? When you want to be a clandestine spy game. That's the reason why Diddy and Epstein don't have to fucking say nothing too much. Right? Because they're probably spies. And when you're a spy and you work for the CIA, you're exempt from certain things when you're on operation. Right? That's why certain things Diddy couldn't be charged for. Probably wasn't charged for. Right? Because he was probably a plant. I believe he went rogue. So that's why he's locked up. The same people locked him up, the same people that are running in doing the fucking white parties. So all the same fucking mob. Too much conjecture between the lawyers, countersuits, all that bullshit between this lawyer, that lawyer, too much. No, both lawyers are fucking handshake, bum chums, and they're going to the white party tomorrow. Together with the judge. Okay? Diddy's probably sitting out there thinking, fucking geez, why come all these ones going to the white party? That judge, I remember him there. I gave him that little girl. That fucking lawyer, I gave him that. What the fuck? And I'm still locked up here. It's because you didn't follow the rules, did he? You tried to break out on your fucking own. Tried to ask for your cut when you fucking had to wait. As soon as you went to take on big black rock, what'd they do to you? They put a big black rock on you. Right? That's it. When you got Black Rock, Rock Nation, NFL, and a couple other fucking dickhead companies in the same building, a bloke drives six states across bloody America with a rifle, walks across the road, which is normally packed with police and people any other time of the week, any other time of the day, any other time of the year. Simply because those big companies are all in that same building. What's he do? Walks in and starts unloading. What was he part of? NFL? You ever watch the Simpsons episode where the NFL satellite comes down and they've been doing fucking spying on you? For marketing? For advertising? It's absolutely true. You got some of the richest people in the world. Can't buy an NFL team. Why can't they buy an NFL team? Rupert Murdoch. Hi, Rupert. Only what I've ever seen in America has that much power. I've never seen anyone in America come up to a game before. Everyone stop playing the game and go, hi, Rupert. Both teams. He had more clearance than any of your presidents. He owned 80% of the world's media at one stage again. He could make governments or break governments. Rupert Murdoch. An Australian. How about that? How about that? But that's the facts. Okay? That's the facts. You own the advertising, you own the pharmaceutical, you own the world. No? If you want to know what department in your government is the most powerful department, that rules them all. It's actually above even your politicians and your judges, your licensing department. Because none of those can be coppers, none of those can be judges unless they're licensed to. And a licensed department is subject to nothing but what the government tells it to do. So when you believe that you are under a democracy, I tell you, you are under a hidden dictatorship. Justice is supposed to be blind. That means any visual thing that we take into a court should be inadmissible, including any tapes, any videos, any visual. So basically, we should be blinding that judge, and whatever he hears or she hears, they weigh up. That's how justice is blind supposed to work. There's supposed to be no visual evidence brought into court. It's all by word of mouth. It's up to the judge to weigh up who is the truth and who is the fake. And if you don't believe this, well, that's too bad. But that's the way it is. Justice is blind. Blind for you. It's supposed to be blind. The judge is supposed to be blind. That means that the government prosecuting or the people can't bring up visual aids and trick the government. Because with visual aids, you can perform trickery. How do you know that a judge is not watching something that you have not made up or tricked? him to believe in what is happening. So visual aids is really not supposed to be in the courts of law. This is added on. Nowadays, if you've got a video evidence, you've got them pretty much convicted. But I tell you, court of law is actually, that's totally legal. That makes that court of law null and void by rights, by laws, by the way it's set up. It's the facts, guys. Why when they say some of these things run illegally? It is true, they do. But because they have the guns, they have the police force, they've got the paper, they run the narrative. Customs had no power, seized all your stuff, had to change the border force, become a legal abiding entity. Why can I not bring my Ferrari in? You don't supposed to legally exist. We don't care. You do as we tell you, even though it's against the law. And there you go. And that's why we have this movement over here at the moment in Australia. This sovereign nation mob. Sovereign nation. Pauline Hanson jumped on that. She's one nation. Okay? So another racist. That one redhead boogie-out lady, she's a racist. Been a racist since the moment she stepped onto the plate. Don't know how she's allowed to function. Some of the things she says, though, are right. I will give her some of the things she says are good and just. But that woman needs to stay right the fuck away from race. Because she's a racist. You go back and look at the interviews of that woman there. Let's go to her mum talking about, I believe, there's old people. I believe the yellow race will come and take over the world. And no, okay. But you have a look, you've got Pauline Hanson at the same rally as the sovereign nation people, as the neo-Nazis. And the Nazis tried to take over, lead the pack. But I don't see any of them other ones pushing away. They said, no, that's Nazi. No, they still didn't stop them. They still didn't say, hey, fuck off. We don't want you here. They allowed them freely to come there, freely to step up to the front, freely pieced what they wanted to say. And 150 of them went down the road in the eastern states, seeing 10 Aboriginal women in the park. That one they had on the footage, that wasn't an Aboriginal woman, by the way. That was a white woman getting her head booted in by so-called men. Run across like a big battalion, all in black. Attacked the shit out of them, bashed them, on camera and everything. Not a single charge laid. I know this country. If you assault a woman, that's pretty much a jail sentence. Because you're not allowed to have hands on a woman. That's a big no-no in Australia. We've got to bring a lot of policies about that one. Right? There's violence, men do it, that's pretty much a jail sentence. You're going to fucking raise your hand to a woman and hit them? It's pretty much looking at a jail sentence. Right? Has to be something very drastic for you to get off that one. Because there's no assault against women. It's a big no-no in Australia. Yet why are those Nazis allowed to kick the shit out of a bloody Aboriginal woman and that white woman on national TV and not a charge be laid? Because they're Nazis. White regime. The great right regime. You know? They love that Nazism. They love it. That's control to them. That's control to us. Where do you think they learned all this propaganda? Where do you think they learned how to go to fucking stars with the bloody rockets? Where do you think you got all your science from? Fucking Germany. Where is your science best? When does it progress the best? During wars. You find science and education stagnates when you've got peacetime. Moves very slowly. Not much progress. Not much money. Have a war, well, gee, you got all that food moving around, you got all those weapons moving around, you got all those metals to make the weapons move around. There you go, you got the world functioning again. Money's moving. Let's keep the wars going. That way we can invent a device that's better than the one that they got, and then they can invent one that's better than we got, and we keep inventing. That way we keep the level of technology high. The technology you have now, what's it all based on? How to operate fucking drones? That's the latest technology in it. Latest war. You know? Just sit back, fucking get Uber Eats, or get my PlayStation remote control hooked into my fucking hooked up bloody drone in my self-built homemade bloody steel tank. I sit here and play video games. But really, I'm blowing up proper people. Just like that. Oh, get Uber Eats. Oh, I just killed 17 Russians on the front there. Ha ha ha. I'll get Uber Eats. No, get that little fly in with a drone. Drop that food off for him. Getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Not allowed to shame him. No fat shaming. So he's allowed to be a glutton. Fucking hell. You watch that cartoon movie, Wally? Where you got that little bloody robot that's left on Earth to crush all those things. He goes into outer space. No, and finds the humans, and they come back to bloody Earth. And their bodies have lost all the bone structure, and they're all fat, and they're all sitting on chairs floating around. Well, when you're in the space, unless you've got an infinite amount of food, after 500 years, you have to start eating something. And the reason why in that movie they was all having shakes, drinking shakes, because that was reconstituted humans. That's what they were eating. That's what we'll start doing. Right? Nothing wrong with boiling down all you humans. Once you're dead, fuck putting you in the ground, we'll make some use of you. Boil down at a rendering factory, separate into all your constituent parts and all your amino acids, add food colorings and food tastings to it, reinstitute that back into society, call it Soylent Green, and you wouldn't know whether you was drinking a pink shake human or a pink shake. That's it. Now, what else you gonna do? You can do that to humans. You can render them down. You won't even know the fucking difference. Make them into different constituent parts. Simple as that. Simple as that. Renders down like everything else. How do you think they get things? How do you think they get these chemicals? Boiling down dead animals. Wait until the fat separates, and it's got different chemical in each fucking level. Amino acids is basically what makes a human functionate. You get a certain amount of amino acids in it there, add a few flavorings to it, you've got a pink shake that's made out of reconstituted human. You wouldn't even know you eat. Probably be good for you too. But we keep going the way we're going. The biggest harvest we're going to have on this planet is humans. Humans. Well, I started off to do the Lord's Prayer. We've done 3 hours now. Pretty cool. People have been in and out. 4 likes. Could have had a few more likes. People not understanding what I'm talking about, but I'm still here. Trying to get my watch hours up. Speaking truth and jumping around. Speaking my peace of mind and my truth. Putting out the challenge to the churches to see whether they're going to do the right thing. Sticking up for my family and talking about, well, how SPARTA is going to be a real news channel. And I will take off the mask. Well, this has been Archangel Michael. Finally hit a wall. Starting to get tired. Don't know how them other ones will stay on 7-8 hours and not move and sit on the seat and not go to the toilet. Must be unhealthy. This is the Archangel Michael signing off for now. Good luck and God bless. I'll see you next time.